What do you got?
I think I can prove to a judge that both of these men had the mens rea.
What the hell is a mens rea?
It's a legal term the lawyers use. It just means the intention to commit a crime.
Okay, come on, let's go.
Mens rea?
Put the cuffs on him.
How could we have gotten mens rea? We take blood? Can you do it without taking blood? We both use condoms. How is this possible? I want to see a doctor. Can I have an independent blood test?
Money!
I feel sick.
What are you doing?
Mens rea! Oh! Oh! My God!
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Wow. Hi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Wherever you are, whoever you're with, whoever you're doing it with, whatever you're doing, wherever you're doing it, why ever you're doing it, etc., etc. It's me, Legal Vices. Hi, I'm here again. It's 2:30 a.m. Korea time. We're going to see what's going on with the trial here. Let's see here. Right. Looks like we're going.
Mr. Howard, I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. I heard it all inside the media room.
Oh, wait, never mind.
So no apology necessary. Thank you. Apologize for not being present.
Right, they just started.
No, it's my fault. I thought Gary walked in, but what he was advising me and I to the attorneys was that there was a comment by one of the jurors. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Oh, a comment by a juror.
So, I don't know exactly which one to do. Who the juror was?
Miss Manuel.
Miss Manuel. So one of the things that is, my recollection, and I could be wrong, is different than yours, Ms. Bradley. My recollection is that there was a motion for mistrial that was made out loud, and Mr. Howard came sidebar.
Yes.
But the jurors been instructed not to read anything about the case. So I don't know if there's something in the newspaper about that. That's a different story, but I don't know what you want me to do, if anything. I bring it to your attention, any real interaction that Gary has with them, something that may seem inappropriate, we always bring it up and let you know.
And should I assume that for future reference, you'd rather I make those motions outside the presence of the jury?
Just come sign.
Okay.
But that was my recollection.
Next time they make a motion for the
I
mistrial,
thought
don't do it in
At
front of
one
the
point,
jury.
I don't know which, there was two motions for mistrial. I don't know at which point, but I believe at least one point you stood up and said, I have a motion for mistrial.
Oh, yes, he did.
No, actually, there was a question asked. I said objection, move for mistrial. And
No,
you called the sidebar and asked me to hold it until the end. And then at the end, after the jury left, Mr. Adelstein and I articulated motions for mistrial on an independent basis. And that's how it trended. That's how it went down.
But it was announced in open court, correct?
The first one
I
was-
said objection, move for mistrial. You called
That's
the
my
sidebar.
recollection.
Yes.
I remember coming sidebar and there being that being said in sidebar. I don't recall it being said in open court.
I thought it was said in open.
Yes, it
It's
was
a
said
fact
in open court. Even though we couldn't find that. We tried to find it an hour or so
So
ago,
again,
2 hours ago.
That's, I don't know what you want me to do, if anything. And,
All right, let's.
the jurors, is that juror here, by the way?
She's in the reception area.
So anyway, I leave it to your discretion. It was announced in open court. There was a motion for mistrial. Gary obviously didn't answer the question. And, what did you respond, Gary?
I told her I didn't know anything about that. And then she asked me, weren't you there? I said, I don't remember that.
Anyway, that's where we're at.
Eliza, what makes you
Think
think
it
they're
over.
not covering the
Let me know if
Titanic's
there's
been
any
missing?
inquiry
That's what
you want
Monday,
to
Maritime Monday is for.
Madam? Same
Yeah,
for
I
both
think
of
you
you.
need
It'll have
to.
resolved itself one way or the other by then.
She needs to be brought in. Your Honor needs to inquire if she's seen anything in the media or any coverage of that, because that was discussed online, is my understanding.
What do you think, counsel?
Well, to the extent that the court's inquiry of this jury is because of the state's faulty recollection that I didn't say move for mistrial in front of the jury, I know that not to be the case. I did say objection, move for a mistrial. You then called a sidebar, and the only thing you said was, please reserve that to me.
That's my recollection.
Yeah, that's fine.
Again, is that what you're concerned about, or is it concerned about just because it was said that you think I ought to inquire?
I think that it's that defense is sterile. If we go forward and if they're going to waive any inquiry of this witness, if she's been looking at any of the other items or anything online, the defense brought to your Honor's attention earlier. Because if they thought was laboring under the impression that there was some sort of cessation of trial and then started looking at media and news reports because they thought their jury service was over, that would be a problem.
Well, it might be a problem for you. I think if the jury saw anything, it'd be
Better to have more
unfavorable to
information
the
than
prosecution.
less. So we have no objection to that being the procedure that we employ.
So you want me to bring her in, indicate to her that I was advised by our bailiff, Gary, that you asked him a motion for mistrial and what had happened, and just ask her, how is it that you're concerned about that, or where did you hear about it, and just find out what information she's got and about it and where she heard it from. Is that the end of the inquiry?
I would ask that you inquire from her if she conveyed any of that to any of the other jurors.
Anything else?
Unless the court wants to say, unfortunately, I did not.
So we're going to ask.
This is real time. Day 5 afternoon.
What she heard, where she learned it from.
If she did any outside research afterwards.
And she'll say, oh, no, I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Ask any of the other jurors concerning that topic.
My feeling is if they saw anything newsworthy, it would probably be unfavorable to the prosecution.
Anything else that you want me to ask, counsel?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nothing, sir.
All right. Do me a favor.
We went together.
Okay, so apparently there's been a rumor that after the defense lawyer stood up and said objection, move for mistrial, that someone may have thought that the trial was over and may have done some research or something over the weekend. So they're going to bring that juror in. They're going to question the juror about what, if anything, they saw and whether it would have an impact on their ability to fairly weigh the evidence and render a judgment. And speaking of people who we have to check and see if they're fair and if they're going to be able to cover this trial, it's our very own Chandler Remington. Hi, Chandler.
Hi.
Hi.
Just
Can't they just kick the juror and seat an alternate? Well, that's what they're trying to decide if they should do. You only have a few alternates. I don't know how many alternates there are in this case, but they've got one in the hospital, one that we don't know how she's going to be able to do. If I recall, it was a she. And then you've got this one here that may have seen something. So, and we've still got another month or so of this trial left. So you don't want to burn through your alternates unless you absolutely have to.
Oh God, there's a month left, really?
Yeesh. About 3 weeks. Shady. All right. So as they figure out what they're doing, so we kind of hit the ground running. I expected them to take a little bit longer time, but they didn't. So whatever you do, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We are 8 people away right now. 8 people away from 36,900 subscribers. Just 8 people need to get out there and hit that subscribe button. We don't have the mornings poll up. Oh, wow, Nicholas. We just got a Nicholas Starov raid. Good morning from Korea, Nicholas. How are you doing? Nicholas, he gave us a little bit of a raid here. So people there, as you're coming in, make sure you hit the like button. Judge John J. Murphy III is presiding, and we're waiting for the juror in question to be brought in, I guess. What happened for the
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Manuel is going to come in now. Okay.
Thank you.
So they're saying what happened that caused them to move for a mistrial. The prosecution did something the judge told them not to do. The judge specifically said, "Do not talk about this Instagram post where the witness alleged that the defense's management team had said they would pay for her if she didn't cooperate with the police. They didn't pay, so now she's going to cooperate and snitch." And judge said, "Don't do that."
As well as one of our jurors, Ms. Manuel. Counsel, please be seated. Ms. Manuel, please be seated. Ms. Manuel, why I brought in is my bailiff indicated to me that when you weren't able to start this morning, that he was escorting the jurors out, and you approached him and asked him about what happened with the mistrial or something to this effect. Is that right? So that's a yes. All right. So I guess my concern is what you may have heard about this alleged mistrial and where you heard it.
The last day I was here, and the defense attorney jumped up and said mistrial.
Okay. So that's where you heard it from?
Yes.
Anything other than that?
No.
Was there any other research that you may have done or looked at newspapers or any kind of article about the motion for mistrial, anything like that?
No.
Anything on the news, any news media
No.
about the mistrial? No. And last but not least, did you speak with any of the other jurors about the motion for mistrial?
No, when Gary came in and asked us this morning, do we have any issues, any questions? And I didn't want to ask him in front of everybody, so I waited till we got in the hall and I put him inside and asked him that. Because he asked me if he had any concerns.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's what we're trying to clear up and find out. Because there's an admonition that I say every time we break, don't discuss the case, don't form any opinion about the
It was
case.
said in here.
That's what we're trying to find out.
Okay.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you. Let the record reflect the juror stepped out. Counsel Manuel, defendant. Anything you wish me to do regarding this issue with this manual?
No, sir.
So are we otherwise ready to proceed?
Yes.
Juror shows up. Yes.
I think, are they all here?
As far as I know.
Okay, so see if they're all here. If they're all here, we'll start.
All righty.
You did say we're short 2 or 3. But they're here now? All right, they're all here now.
So it looks like the jury may be all there. While we're waiting for the jury to come in, we have our very first super chat of the morning from Unhung Hero, Young Mistrial World. Nice. What do I think of the judge? I like this judge. I think he's a good, fair judge. He's not letting the prosecution slide with things. I think he's a great judge so far.
I like this little plaque.
Let's see. Yep. What was that?
The little plaque on his
Oh yeah.
on the bench. I can't remember what it says, but it said something witty or
It
poignant.
says, yeah. Let's see if we can get another good look at it. So, with our first super chat of the morning, Unhung Hero becomes today's Vice Racks, the trial Vice Racks. And, we don't want to leave the studio. Why would I want to leave the studio? At least now it warns me before I click the wrong buttons. So, all right, we're waiting for the jury to come on in so we can start the afternoon session. Until then, it's just us. So I guess we can do the backstage griftiness here. Nicholas Darvhea, thank you so much for the raid. Deeply appreciated. Make sure you go. I'll set up a poll here in just a little bit. Once we get underway, we got 538 people here and only 165 likes. It's like 75% of you haven't done your job, according to my lawyer.
Come on,
math.
people. You can do better than that.
Yep. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. We're 8 subscribers away from 36,900. Go over to Remy_legal and subscribe to Chandler Remington. Like all of her video. it won't take you very long.
You're so funny with that same joke that you've been telling for 5 months.
That's because you've had one video in the last 5 months. That's why.
Not true. I have like 7 videos, you guys. I'll do more. More streams. More streams are coming.
All right. Let's settle in here. I've got my water. We're good.
No more margaritas?
it's taking a little while for the brain to engage. So I'm a little bit slow on the reflexes, but no more margaritas. You got to make sure we get through this.
I hope you got a good nap in there somewhere.
Ooh, it took a while to get to sleep, but did get to sleep, and it's raining hard outside, so it's all humid and cool and smells nice in the house. Smells like rain.
Sounds cozy.
Just might fall asleep. So it was that the jury was talking about the speaking objection and assumed something was happening with with that, and that's why they were delayed. Yeah, they wanted to talk and make sure that was the only thing she heard was him going motion to dismiss, and she didn't go, oh, we must not have court anymore. So she goes home over the weekend and researches the case and talks to everybody about it. They just wanted to make sure she didn't do that. Hey, Valhalla Waits, what's up, brother?
Love you, Val.
Did you see it? The ordinance can reflect the presence of the defendant, his counsel, the assistant state attorneys, and his close ladies and gentlemen jury. They don't, sorry for the late start. Hopefully everybody's all right. We appreciate your patience. We also appreciate the fact that you're all here. Thank you.
Dang it, get up there.
But we were ready to begin again. When we left off last week, the state was still on this case in chief. Madam, who's your next witness?
Susan Johnson of T-Mobile.
Susan Johnson, please.
Oh God, exciting phone record evidence. Yay.
Oh, my favorite experts. Talking about all the towers and the, that guy that flipped it around in the Murdoch trial, like threw it across the room, exciting stuff. Very professional. Thrilling.
Oh, they seem to have switched court recorders. I approve.
Good afternoon. Are you Susan Johnson?
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.
What I'd like to do is raise your right hand for us.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you shall give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your full legal name for the record.
Susan Johnson,
Please spell your first and last name for the court reporter.
SUSAN, JOHN,
Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Ms. Johnson, that microphone in front of you will adjust up or down, but not back and forth. Okay?
Thank
Are you
you.
ready to proceed, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, you may.
Wait,
Yeah.
before we go, Judge, can you
Ms.
just
Johnson,
another
how are you
shot of the
today?
court
Good,
reporter?
thank you.
She's a breath of fresh air from what we've dealt with
Ladies and
previously
gentlemen,
last week.
tell them where you work. Sure. My name is Susan Johnson, and I work for T-Mobile. How long have you worked for T-Mobile?
So your answer is
26
smash.
years. And what do you do for T-Mobile? I am a manager within the legal emergency response unit. Prior to working for T-Mobile, did you work for any other telecommunications companies? Yes, I did. And what were those? AT&T Wireless. And how long did you work for AT&T? 5 years. How long in total have you worked in the telecommunications industry? 31 years. So you indicated you were part of the manager of the emergency response? Legal emergency response. And what does that mean? That means that we respond to subpoenas and other legal demands from various agencies across the United States. And when you say a legal demand, what would you mean by that? Subpoena or a court order, search warrant. In terms of the records when you work.
Would it be wrong if we nicknamed her Mickey Rourke?
Every day. What do you do with the records?
There
So we're
is a
able
strong
to retrieve
resemblance.
the information from our
So no.
computer database.
I won't, but
And then send the response back to the agency that's requesting. And I know this might sound silly.
What happened to your watermelon?
T-Mobile. We're a wireless
It's in the
telephone
fridge.
carrier. And is T-Mobile the parent company of any other wireless carriers? We did acquire Sprint. How long has T-Mobile been the parent company for Sprint? April 1st, 2020 is when we acquired them. In terms of the information that is kept.
she actually does kind of look like a famous
phone
Korean
call
woman.
Records? Yes. What would you call those?
Which one?
Call detail records.
One that no one outside of Korea has ever heard of.
Yes.
Not world famous,
Do you
just
keep
Korea famous.
information regarding subscribers? Yes. What type of information is kept in a call detail record?
So call detail reports will show incoming and outgoing phone calls or text messages
Obviously,
made or
Adam.
received by the cellular telephone.
Does T-Mobile keep that information as to when data is used?
Yes.
Will a data phone call or video call show up in call detail records?
No.
Does the information show who is being called?
Yes, it will show the transaction of the outbound or inbound phone call on the call detail records.
Does T-Mobile keep the cell site information for the call that the outgoing non-T-Mobile subscriber?
No.
What's the purpose of collecting this information at T-Mobile?
Billing purposes.
Is there any consideration as to the health and optimization of the network?
So we keep what is known as timing advance records, which is solely for engineering purposes, so that they are able to check up on the network, yes.
When a phone call is made from a cellular device or handset, can you describe from the network perspective what happens?
Sure. So what happens is the phone reaches out to the tower with the strongest signal, which is not necessarily the closest tower. So for example, we can have a tower on top of the building, or we can have one down the street. However, the one down the street might be the stronger signal and would pick up that call. At that point, it's transferred to our switch, and our switch is what records all the information that you will see on the call detail records. At that point, it's then transferred to a landline company, and it's the landline company that actually delivers the call.
So you mentioned true call data. What is that?
So true call data is for the network. It will show where the phone is connected to when it's not in use, as long as it's turned on.
The phone is connected to the phone bone.
Yes.
What is per call measurement data?
Correct.
Is that the same for true call, with the Sprint analogy?
Correct, that's Sprint's term.
In terms of subscriber information, what types of subscriber information is kept?
So the subscriber information, we have two types. One would be a prepay, and then the other would be a monthly account.
So the prepay, what type of information could you have?
So prepay, a customer is not required to provide their information, but they could provide a name, address, and date of birth.
On the postpaid or the billed type, what type of information do you have?
So we would have the name, the address, date of birth, social security number, and we actually do a credit check on that individual.
The Cowardly Lion, Swan Lake Lady, I was
using the specific phones or handsets. Can you testify to that?
No.
How many times have you testified in court before?
Over 1,000 times.
Were you, as
1,000
the
times?
representative for T-Mobile, provided legal process, and I go through them one
Did
by
she brush
one.
her hair any of those 1,000 times?
Under reference tracking number for T-Mobile, 214-6318.
Yes, it's sad, believe me, missy, when you're born to be a sissy without the vim and vive.
And 954-376-9158.
But I could change my habits, never more be scared of rabbits if I only had a knife.
219-2645, where you
I'm
provided
afraid there's no denying.
records
I'm just a
and process
dandelion.
numbers.
A fate I don't deserve.
720-3210, 772-713,
But I show my prowess. Be a man, not a mouse, if I only had a knife.
Yes.
As the records custodian for T-Mobile, under T-Mobile tracking ID 208-1851, where you submitted
I'm okay.
for 9.
Put 'em up, put 'em up.
9081.
What'd you do that for? You didn't have to go and hit me. I wasn't gonna bite him.
2715 for phone number 954-376-9158, where you provided a legal process.
You people in chat don't know who you're messing with. I have played the Cowardly Lion in no less than 6 productions of The Wizard of Oz.
Have you really?
Weirdly, they won't let me play the Scarecrow. I don't know why. No, you look more Cowardly Lionish to us. You mean fat? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Was Sprint at the time, part of T-Mobile, under the phone numbers for 772-713-2341 and 954-371 7895 under sprint tracking number 2018
Oh, this is riveting.
provided legal process and requested to provide records.
Yes.
Chat is very entertaining.
Oh, I can tell you why. No, that's the Cowardly Lion. Oh, I could tell you why. The ocean reached the shore.
225-529.
I could think of things I'd never thunk before. And then that's it. And think some more. That's the Cowardly Lion. That's not the Cowardly Lion. That's Cowardly.
You really got the whole name memorized, huh?
At or about the time they are created by a person with knowledge?
Yes.
Impressive.
Are they kept in the regular course of business of Sprint and T-Mobile?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Is it in the regular practice to keep such records?
Yes.
You're at this time approaching with what's
Doesn't look like the Cowardly Lion, though.
For identification purposes.
She really does. Wait, she'll put on glasses. Let's see if the glasses help.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, I do.
That helps.
My initials and today's date are
It's much better. I feel so mean.
Records that were provided by T-Mobile in response to the tracking.
I tried not to
numbers
see
that we
it.
just discussed, as well as just Sprint and the tracking numbers and case numbers they just.
I mean, if you brought up a photo.
Here at this time, the state
No,
would
don't do
offer
it.
that states 000, that states 63.
Any objection?
Yes, objection. Relevance.
Sure, why don't you come sidebar?
Oh, we already have a sidebar. How thrilling is that? We've already got a sidebar.
Let me turn on the
I've got
hairdryer sound effect. that
Yeah.
audio just kills me every time.
She just wants to blow dry the hair. That's all.
Somebody said she needs to brush out her mane.
Mandy, being really cruel, says defendant
Mandy's
looks like a defendant. I think you mean witness, but read just for the sake. We'll read it the way it was read, so people won't think I'm being mean to the witness. Defendant looks like a defunct Chuck E. Cheese animatronic with those wide bonk. No, I think you do mean defendant with those wide bonk eyes, melted massive hair on his head, and twitching donkey lips. Now that's really cruder. That's really mean, Mandy. John Gordon, give us a performance while this lady testifies. Now we need to pay attention to her riveting.
Well, you've done it already.
Yeah.
You've already fulfilled that request, I think.
It would just be overkill at this point. Too much of a good thing.
I'm glad I have myself muted because I was laughing way too hard to hear any of what she was saying. That was good. It was really good.
It does look like the Cowardly Lion, though.
I'm so ashamed. That's so mean.
Oh, dear. Anyway, so we're off to a good start. God only knows what this sidebar is about. She's literally just reading numbers about I don't know. We'll just have to find out what's going on here. Install until then. So let's see. Oh, we got to update the vice racks of the day thing here because Unhung Hero has been outbid for the position of vice racks.
Lovely.
By Mandy with her lovely comment.
Thank you, Mandy.
All right. Wow, this is a thrilling picture of the wall here, and we did put up. We put up the poll, the lame poll for the morning. There's 600 people here, and 300, a little less than 300, have hit the like button. Get out there and do the job. Come on, half of you haven't done your job. It's better than 3/4 of you not doing your job, but it's still half of you not doing your job.
Really, people?
So hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to Remy_legal at Chandler Remington, her channel, and then come over here and take our like and subscribe poll, which is, did you hit the like and subscribe buttons? Yes, because no mistrial. I don't know why I made that a question, but I did. And yep, next mistrial motion is coming. And of course, it'd be a crime not to. And yes, got a bad case of loving you. I know it's like more medical than legal, but it has the word case in it, so I put it up there. Yeah, that's how I go. But Mandy is our new vice racks of the day so far. Yeah. Oh, all right. This is a long one. This must be something really important that they're talking about.
I wonder what the content is.
Me too. Huh.
I'm gonna go grab a beverage. I'll be right back.
Great, you do that. And while she does that, I will update this here now that Mandy is the new vice racks of the day. Where are we here? All right. Don't know why that's the case. Why we're having a big old sidebar here about who knows what. We're just going to have to wait and see. It'll take me a while to do this because Mandy's last name is long. There we go. Oh, looks like we're coming back. Great. I wonder how many hours she'll be on the stand telling us how cell phones work. Hey, guys in court. Guys in court. While we are doing that, brown-eyed girl dropping the $4.99 empty message. I hope you meant that to be empty. If there's something you want to say, just say it here in chat. You don't have to send another super chat unless you want to. Well, never mind. We have Mandy, who is the Vice Rax, currently with $5, and unfortunately, brown-eyed girl 714, she dropped her $5 super chat from an iPhone, which for some reason takes 1 penny off. $4.99. Wow. I hope that's not me. Did I boomer it? Yeah, I boomered it.
What is the billing name for this?
Volume. I thought it was the court volume. I forgot we turned off the blow dryer noise. But we missed this important whatever it is.
And going to the second one, what is the billing name on this one?
We're miles from Doggo Cam.
DONTAVIUS. Last name is Withers. WITHERS.
At the top of this screen capture, there's a BAN number. Do you know what that means?
Yes.
What is that?
That would be the account number.
Does that correlate with the other data that's been provided?
Yes.
Going to now the same Word document file name. What are we looking at in this Sprint document?
This is also subscriber information.
So you had mentioned that billing account number, that BAN number?
Correct.
If you can touch the screen in front of you, you can write on it and it will show up on the screen for the jurors. So if you could point out where the billing account number is here. Okay. And then what is the phone number that was being used by this account, or the subject number?
772-713-2341.
And is this again for that Chris Thomas billing account?
Yes.
Okay. Scrolling down to the next.
Scrolling.
Billing account number.
Keep those wagons scrolling right. Sorry, I'm feeling very singy now.
That was, we just looked at the subscriber information on for Dontavius Withers.
Yes.
And what is the phone number that's associated with this particular account?
8675309. 8675309. Jenny. Sorry, not sorry.
Going on to 2019-158-210-6566861. For the phone number in question on this particular record, is that labeled right here?
Yes.
And what phone number is that?
225-529-5054.
And looking at the Microsoft Excel viewer, can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what we're looking at here?
No, please don't explain Microsoft Excel.
With cell site information for Sprint.
Going over to the T-Mobile records. Just for demonstrative and illustrative purposes, when you are looking, this particular one called Timing Advance LTE and UMTS _TN 772-713-9807. Then it has another underscore IMSI. What is an IMSI?
That stands for International Mobile Subscriber Identity Number, which is the number that's associated with the SIM card found in the back of the phone.
And the first, the 772-713-9807, what is that?
That would be the phone number.
Are all of these records provided by T-Mobile?
Yes.
In terms of completion codes, is that something that is reflected in these records?
Yes.
What is a completed successfully completion code?
So that means that the call went through the network successfully.
What is an abnormal completion?
An abnormal completion means the call did not go through. Perhaps the user hung up prior to the call connecting or a dropped call.
Okay. In terms of what time frame are all of these records kept in?
We keep them in UTC time, which is Coordinated Universal Time. So depending on what time of the year it is, you would have to subtract either 4 or 5 hours from the time that you see reflected in order to arrive at East Coast time.
On October 26th of 2018, how many hours did you have to subtract?
It would be -4.
The cell site locations indicate latitude and longitude of the cell site. Is that now there's also a physical address. Is the physical address always the same as the latitude and longitude?
No.
What could the physical address sometimes show?
So that's what we refer to as an administrative address. So we use that for 911 purposes. To get the exact location of the cell tower, you would take the two coordinates, the latitude and longitude, plot it into a mapping program such as Google Earth, and that would be the exact location.
There's nothing further of this witness, Sharon?
Counsel, is there any cross-examination?
1 second, Your Honor.
Well, that was shorter than I expected.
Oh wow, that is uncanny. She just needs you know, some ringlets and a red bow.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
So the technology that you just described for identifying locations, how is that verified by T-Mobile itself?
That you would have to ask an engineer for.
So you don't know how that's done?
How it's verified?
Yeah.
As to what tower connected to? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
So it's done with a radio frequency is how the towers work. It's a
Oh.
signal.
It's done with the radio
So
frequency.
you were telling me earlier that the phone.
I like how it's 3 a.m. and I've got a bottle of water, so I just reach for bourbon naturally.
Correct,
It connects to the tower with the strongest signal.
correct.
So how is it that you know to approximate? How do you know how far?
I love that old joke, like water?
phone is from?
I never touch this stuff. Fish,
I don't,
F it.
Is there no way to tell that?
no, not through me.
Not through you?
Bad delivery.
Correct.
And how do you know if the tower that the phone connected to is the closest tower or the one with the stronger signal?
That would not be a question for me. You would have to ask an engineer.
How would you know whether or not a phone defaults to a stronger strength? If you have a tower with a strong signal and another tower with a not so strong signal, or a signal that's not as strong as the other. You with me so far?
Yes,
How would you know at what point the signal disparity is strong enough for it to default to the one that's further away as opposed to the one that's closer?
again, that's a question for an engineer, not for me.
Mm-hmm.
So you have no way of helping us understand any of this information that you just described.
Correct,
You just collect it when you're subpoenaed and you provide,
Correct.
and you're not familiar with the technology at all.
Not the questions that you're asking, correct.
One
Sure.
Is it correct that the data location information, the purpose that you worked with Sprint and with T-Mobile at some point,
I'm a T-Mobile employee.
and you were a Sprint employee at some point?
No, sir.
You were somewhere else? No?
AT&T.
AT&T.
Correct.
The purpose that AT&T, and in this case now T-Mobile, collects this data location information is for billing.
Correct.
That's its only purpose.
And network engineers collect to optimize the network.
Okay. It's not used for identifying the locations of customers' phones beyond the purpose of just billing.
Correct.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Any redirect?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Johnson, counsel asked you, how do you know how something didn't happen? Is that a fair question?
Objection. Sustain. Rephrase.
Right, that was a
With
dumb
regards to these
question.
records, are they accurate?
Objection.
That was very stupid.
Lack of foundation, Chief.
Watch him sidebar.
We're having a sidebar over whether or not these records are accurate. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. We love these sidebars. Well, while we're loving sidebars, Unhung Hero said, thought Melly had money. Sprint was for the poors. And K-Tribe, the current Vice Racks of the day with the $9.99 super chat. Thanks for waking up. Love your coverage and show. Thank you so much. Deeply appreciated. And I love having you here.
Aw, you're so loved.
Oh. They love the sidebar here too. All right, that's some riveting testimony from the lady that goes, yep, cell phones connect to towers through radio waves. Thank you very much for that riveting testimony.
I miss
And
in
phone
the Murdoch
numbers.
trial when they would pan to the chandelier and the clock and the ceiling
Yeah.
fan. That was at least something to look at.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Gee, I missed a few words.
Calls and
Very
text
good.
messages that have
It's
happened.
almost 3:30 a.m. Still trying to get the
Network's
cobwebs out of the
perspective?
head.
Yes.
Sorry.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Is this witness excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may step down. You're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Jonathan Zeller.
Jonathan Zeller, please.
Well, okay. She's being active these days here. What are you standing
Every time
up
I see her,
for?
I can't stop thinking about her mugshot. I wonder who she battered.
She's a large woman.
She's got man hands.
She's 6 foot tall. And she's like China, the wrestler. He's like big.
She has
She's
man
gonna
hands.
have man hands.
Good afternoon.
She's gonna
Jonathan Zeller.
probably got more man parts.
Come on up here, sir. That's our witness stand. When you get there, you put your things down. you raise your right
Now,
hand.
don't assume her.
solemnly swear or affirm that
Not those parts.
the case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Please state your full legal name for the record.
Jonathan Zeller, Z-E-L-L-E.
Spell your first name as well, sir.
Jonathan.
Thank you.
Didn't hear his last name. I just heard Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry. Can we approach the third?
Why? Why?
Again.
Why are we having a sidebar? Oh,
They're
thank
like-
you. They started turning down the court volume. Oh, good.
70,000 sidebars.
The guy gets his name out and they want a sidebar. Why? All right, this is more sidebar-y than court is in a sidebar. No sound. Thank you. That's much better than I can do that. If you guys miss the sound, I'd be happy to just go the whole time.
I mean, finally, it's like, okay, they're going to have another month of this. At least they figured it out now. Hopefully they keep doing this because it's an assault on the eardrums. Yes, we know what it sounds like, Jeff.
Sorry, just couldn't help it. I'm so used to it. I feel weird without it. I feel like I've muted it now.
You feel unbalanced a little bit.
I do. It's like somebody did my job for me. Oh, thank you. Just bring it up a little bit so it sounds like the ocean waves. Like just move the slider up and down so it's like waves lapping on the beach.
Yeah, I get that. I need ambient noise to sleep. Like, having lived in LA my whole life, if I ever go to travel to a place that like is super quiet and it's like in the middle of nowhere, I can't sleep. It's super weird.
Yeah. Well, if I'm in new locations, I just have this weird, FOMO thing, just like fear of missing out. So when I'm in like hotels, if I'm in another city, I'm like, but if I'm sleeping, I'm not outside doing something. I must be missing something, and I never sleep.
So you don't sleep when you're working. You don't sleep when you're on vacation. Do you ever?
I sleep when I work all the time.
I mean, but you had like what, 2 hours of sleep before coming on here?
Yeah, well, it was closer to about an hour and a half. It was rough getting to sleep. This guy's seen some stuff.
I just don't know where his neck went.
Into his manly frame.
I feel like he's gonna just like burst out of the collar there. He's a beefy guy.
The next witness is Jonathan Zeller Thomas. I know his name is Jonathan, but I have his last name Zeller Thomas.
It's like very close to Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
But I'll take your word for it.
Detective, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Where do you work?
I work in the Miramar Department.
Detective.
For 23 years.
What do you do for the Miramar Police Department?
I'm a detective in the homicide unit.
And how long?
So, detective, what do you do for the police department? I'm a detective.
Prior to
All right.
I detect things.
What other hats have you worn for the Miramar Police Department?
Several. One in particular is the digital forensic examiner.
Okay. What is a digital forensic examiner?
So what I do is we'll stick with the cell phones or cellular phones or devices of that nature. I do the extraction and the analysis for it.
And when you're doing an extraction, can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what types of software or tools you use to do an extraction on a cellular telephone?
So what we use is a software and hardware company called Cellbrite, and this is specific for conducting extractions of cellular devices.
And approximately how many different trainings have you taken in the use of Cellbrite systems?
I've taken a few. Each of them consisted of 40 hours of class training and exercises, and obviously the exam as well.
What about you taking training with the task team of the FBI?
I have.
Have you taken, you said you also do analysis of the cellular forensics or digital forensics. What do you mean by that?
So depending on what type of case it is, I will actually do the extraction and I'll also do the examination of it, the analysis for it, and go through it and look for items that potentially could be considered evidence.
And in terms of to do the analysis part, what information do you need?
I need to know what the case.
In this case that we're here on today, Miramar Police Department
So we have a dentist drill in court?
6269.
Are
Were you
they
the lead
waxing the
detective?
floors?
What was your role in this case?
Doing the analysis or the extraction of the device.
Did you do any analysis?
Like Mars attack is happening outside the courtroom.
In terms of the extraction of the device, so you provided an iPhone with a phone number attached to it of 772-713-9807.
Yes, yes.
Prior to coming into court today, did you have the opportunity to review the digital copy of that instruction?
I do.
I'm showing defense counsel what's been marked as state triple P for identification purposes, showing the witness. Detective Zeller, do you recognize this thumb drive?
I do.
How do you recognize this?
My initials and my number on the jump drive.
What does that thumb drive contain?
This is the generated report of the generated report of the cellular device that was extracted.
And is that in the same or substantially same
Durr.
condition as when you performed that extraction?
Yes.
Yeah, at this time, the state would request an state's triple P.
Is this where we get here? Doop, 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 doop.
Yes, sir. Name? Sure.
What we should do, I think we should go back. I should just end the stream now. Go back to the regular makeup day. Have somebody splice together the actual testimony part of this, and we can catch up in like 5 minutes tomorrow. Just cut out all the sidebars and things, and be like a 5-minute trial.
Yeah, because it seems like there's way more sidebar than there is trial.
It's like when I saw Caligula in the movie theater here. It's like back when Korea was really super censored.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a 10-minute trailer for the next film. It was a double feature. I said, wow, they do double features here. I didn't know that. Caligula was like 45 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
And it was a double feature with Pulp Fiction.
That's an interesting
Which is
combo.
also it was because that was also heavily edited.
You
They
can
edited out
edit
all the
Pulp
sex,
Fiction.
all the drugs,
That's
all the
fine.
blood. Yeah.
Then what do you have left?
Not much. Because I saw it because Koreans were like, Pulp Fiction's a stupid movie. I mean, I don't think so.
That's
It made no sense. It was dumb. So I went, all right, let's go see this. Yeah, the old Caligula with Malcolm McDowell, the only one I know of. But yeah, it was a very, very short movie. And then it went into Pulp Fiction.
Point? What's the point?
Well, like, for
at all?
example, the whole Uma Thurman overdose scene.
Mhm.
It shows them dancing in the burger joint. They walk out, and then the next scene is her waking up on the floor with the needle sticking out of her heart, going. And so you literally miss the entire going to the house, you doing the drugs.
Not even John
doing
Travolta talking to himself in the mirror,
Yeah, and talking to himself in the mirror,
That's
rolling
not-
up on Eric
there's nothing-
Stoltz's yard, and the whole interaction. And I'm like, okay, now I see why this makes no sense to people. But since
Yeah.
then, they've gone back and
I mean, it's out of order in the first place, so you have a lot that you need to piece together. That makes me very, very sad. I frequently see Tarantino films just because we have the New Beverly Theater where it's actually his
Mhm.
theater, and they're constantly showing Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill. I just saw both Kill Bills, and like I love Tarantino. And the idea of somebody editing it like that is just icky. Very sad.
yeah, well, that's back when they were required to censor things. So they don't do it anymore, and now Pulp Fiction exists in its normal form.
I mean, but the idea of censoring Caligula, it's just like, why would you even bother in the first
No,
place?
it was
The whole thing.
it was a very short movie.
Oh man.
They should play Melly songs for Sidebar. That would be inappropriate.
I've never heard his music. Is it any good? Have you listened to it?
Mm-hmm. No, I have not.
I've heard some things. I'm not sure. I'm kind of scared.
I probably don't plan on listening to any of it either, but whatever. Why are they? What is this?
I don't know. It's just, we get to really know the courtroom walls really, really well. And
Huh.
not much else.
Yeah, and there's not a whole bunch here to talk about either. To go, oh, well, this was an interesting part of the last 5 minutes when they've really only had about 3.5 minutes of testimony. This is all right. It's happening with Harper. It says it's not great, but it's not terrible. All right, take your word for it. Thank you for telling me that. Now I don't have to do it. While we're doing that, we can read some of the monthly member chats. Lacey Pettit's been a member of 5 months of the Bent Halos and Broken Wings tier of membership. It says Vice Squad for life. Well, thank you, Lacey. I deeply appreciate that. It's very, 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 very kind of you, and I appreciate the support. Charlie Houston, almost Charlton Heston. New member. Welcome to the Clean and Sober crew. We're glad to have you aboard. I hope everybody is hitting like and subscribe because we got 716 people here and 430 likes. We can squeeze out 300 more likes from you people. Squeeze out 300 more likes. Just get down there. We're at a sidebar. What else you got to do? It's not like you're going to miss anything by going down there and hitting the like button. There's not a whole lot going on other than, and actually, if you do it really slowly, you can probably fill an entire second with hitting that like. So that'll move this on like 1 second. You don't have to worry about. Mandy's brought another super chat. Not sure if I want to read this one. Let me scroll up and find it.
The last one was so poetic and elegant.
Mandy,
we love you,
Mandy.
Mandy.
$5 super chat. Ladies and gentlemen, the Martian defense attorney is going to say a few words. Mistrial. No, that was actually pretty good. I like that one. Mistrial. That was pretty good. Hey, it's so good I read it twice. I like
Got
that.
the sound effects perfectly.
Yeah. All right, now what do we do?
I don't know. Quote Pulp Fiction? Everybody seems to be doing that in chat.
Yeah.
Am I to understand that the defendant actually has a song called Murder on My Mind?
Yeah, well, that was the big deal where it talks about killing a friend. Like, ooh. But it was like written, if it was written before he did it, so that would be like really dumb if he like writes a song about something he plans on doing in the future. But even the prosecution, bless them, that was like, they said this isn't about his song or his lyrics, so we're not going to be talking about that. So bless them for doing one ethical thing.
All right.
Whatever it was that Salieri said at the end of Amadeus, I think like I am the god of mediocrity. You're absolved, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mediocrity.
Did I see? I don't think I saw Amadeus.
You never saw Amadeus? Oh my, that was a fantastic movie.
I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of movies I haven't seen where you would react just like that. I've seen a lot of movies, but I also haven't seen a lot of movies. I have a lot of catch up to do.
All of the shit movies you've seen, and you haven't seen Amadeus.
What shit movies? What are you talking about?
I mean, all of the grade B movies. I mean, shit movies don't necessarily mean bad movies.
Oh, B movies are so much fun, though, Jeff.
Wow. Unhung here with a $2 super chat. I'd almost prefer to be on the Titanic sub right now.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, well.
I don't discriminate with movies. I like to watch everything. I've watched everything practically in the Criterion Collection. I love The Seventh Seal.
Yeah, see, Jeff, you're twice her age, though, and she's talking about The Seventh Seal. Age isn't a problem here.
I'm a big movie nerd. I've watched
The Seventh Seal came out, in 1920-something?
No, that would... I think that's a little early. That's like Fritz Lang era. That's like M in Metropolis. I want to say Seventh Seal came out... God, 50s, maybe. I could be wrong. I should know this.
Bergman was young when that came out.
It's not my favorite Bergman film. Although I still have yet to see Fanny and Alexander, like the uncut version.
Oh.
It's very long.
1957.
63.
Thank you.
I knew it was 50s. I got it right.
So, Detective Zeller, can you explain
Father of
ladies and
Ingrid
gentlemen
Bergman.
of the jury what an extraction does?
So the extraction.
Thank fuck they came
system is
back.
done in order to obtain whatever is on that phone and to put it in a legible or readable report that's easy for someone to look at.
Kroll is an awesome movie.
You get also by doing that.
Bonus points if you had the Kroll board game like I did.
So on and so forth. That's why we do those
Merch, baby.
extractions.
Nothing further from this witness, Your Honor?
Any cross-examination?
Good God.
Yes, just briefly. How are you, sir?
Good news, sir.
You said you did a phone dump here of a particular unit that the state referred to,
That's correct.
and you have not analyzed it?
No.
You don't know if there's any relevant evidence on it at all?
That's correct.
Okay. And you don't know who it belongs to, do you?
I do know who it belongs to. Obviously, I'm in the office, I know who it belongs to, but as far as the contents of it, I don't know.
You don't know who uses it?
I do not.
You don't know who it's registered to?
I do not.
Okay. One second. And as to any contents of that phone, you don't know if they're texts, who authored them?
Once again, I don't know the contents.
Yes, I know it's Ingmar Bergman. I said that's
Your Honor, we'd like
Ingrid Bergman's father, I said.
Okay.
I gotta wait for them to bring that down.
Grandfather.
Was her grandfather or father? That was her father.
I don't know. All I know is she wore blue velvet, and she had a show called Green Porno where she acted out the sex lives of insects.
Ingrid Bergman is just she's smoking hot. Speaking of Krull, someone I think mentioned Skrull at the beginning of this stream. That's like, I wonder if it's the same person that mentioned Krull and Skrull, because that would be weird if two people independently mentioned a grade B 80s movie independently of each other.
Are you just making up random words?
No. Now, Krull, I can forgive you for not seeing. Amadeus, not so much. We can forgive you for not seeing Krull. We had a super chat. Where did it go? There we are. Unhung hero. Chandler lives near Hollywood, and of course she's a movie nerd. Surprised she's not in movies. Surprising indeed, Unhung hero. Surprising indeed.
I prefer the legal entertainment end of film. That was my first law job, and it was a lot of fun. I got to be not exactly a paralegal, because I wasn't, I was still in college, but I was legal assistant for somebody who represented independent production companies, and worked on probably 5 or 6 movies at a time. It was a lot of fun. Did a lot of contracts for a lot of well-known people. Got to see people's writers and stuff. That was interesting.
Krull is a great movie. And the Skrulls are shape-shifting from various Marvel properties. Yes, we have the Kree Skrull, and what were the other one? There's the Kree Skrull, and there was the other ones. Anyway. Not important. Ingrid Bergman was 2 years older than Ingmar Bergman? Okay. Wait, what? Wait, I'm thinking. I know what I'm doing.
You're Googling. You have to Google.
I am. That's what all right, I know it. I wasn't thinking Ingrid Bergman. Ingrid Bergman's daughter is Isabella Rossellini. That's what I was confusing. I was getting confused.
What did you all want to share with the cases?
Okay, Your Honor, and I can hand them up as I discussed. I don't think I left one with the court.
Yeah, I was thinking Isabella Rossellini is Ingrid Bergman's daughter.
RLG versus
Again,
State,
it's 3:30 in the morning. Give me a break.
3rd, 721, third DCA case.
I think we're all just happy that you're alive. Somehow still kicking.
Why?
Oh my god, again?
No, they were testifying. They were talking about a case.
What's happening?
I don't know.
Why is this happening?
Unless it's still part. I don't know.
Jesus.
Whatever.
I mean, at least it's a different view of the courtroom. Still boring as hell.
Well, I said a daughter, which isn't his daughter. It's Ingrid Bergman's daughter, Isabella Rossellini.
I don't think the two Bergmans were related.
No.
No.
Not that I'm aware of. Anyway, they just both happen to be Swedish and both happen to be named Bergman and both happen to live at the same time.
Right. Well, and Isabella Rossellini's obviously part Italian, so.
Yes, well, she's Roberto Rossellini's daughter.
Yeah, I love her. I love her relationship with David Lynch. I love David Lynch.
Wish he had a relationship with me.
Well, she's sexy. She's too old for me, but.
If you're Isabella Rossellini, you're
Who mentioned
weird. What?
Jodorowsky? Who mentioned Holy Mountain? I love Holy Mountain. Okay, El Topo. Thank you. That's a good movie.
The greatest movie that never got made was Jodorowsky's Alien movie.
Ooh, I haven't heard of that.
On a phone that
Oh, read it. It is fucked up. His treatment for the Aliens movie is messed up.
Several articles.
Oh, I have to Google that.
There have been lawsuits about the accuracy of the data that is compiled.
I'm sorry, Dune. His Dune movie was messed up.
This type of app, because what it's doing is it's assessing verbal.
Jodorowsky's Dune. They've made a whole
example,
documentary about his treatment for
experts he
Dune.
spoke to indicated that his wife plays the piano at church, and every time she goes to church and comes back, she's taken 20,000 steps because she's doing like that. So the fact is that whether or not this information is reliable is yet to be determined. Whether or not the technology has advanced to the point of being reliable is yet to be determined. But this court cannot admit it until the state first meets its burden of establishing the reliability of the data that is compiled or purportedly developed as a result of the technology. Because we don't know if that technology is accurate. Whether it is or not, I'm not taking a position at this time. I know I've read a lot of articles that indicate that it's not. However, the state has the burden as an authentication hurdle to, as a foundation, establish that that technology is a reliable one. Because she is going to now, and she's introducing the matter for the truth, told the jury in opening, Mr. Demons, who she believes had the phone, but has no proof of that to begin with, walks 70 steps. Says who? Says an app. What app? The one in his phone. Is it reliable? We don't know. Why? Because she has not established the reliability of the technology as a predicate to the admission of the data. So that is our number one foundation argument.
Case that you want me to read?
Yes, sir.
I'm happy to take a look at it.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Here, I first start with citing back to State versus Maximit, which is a 1967 case, which was the earliest time in which I could find a pedometer being mentioned. And at that point, it's important to note this is a well-established technology that's been in use for hundreds of years.
What?
Initially done by
An iPhone pedometer has been used for hundreds of years.
It's also allowed under the Florida statutes and used to be used to measure
That's
distances for
not
determination of
true.
1,000 feet from a place of worship, a school, or anything else for measuring distances for enhancement on drug penalties. So I'd start by handing that one to your honor. Then I also have State v. Birch, which is a Wisconsin case in which similar information was admissible and used in a homicide case. Then also the issue of cell phone dumps, and that's at 398 Wisconsin 2nd 1. And then even more recently, this was a federal case, United States versus Riego, R-I-E-G-O. I just have a Westlaw site because it's 2022, it is not yet. This is 2022 Westlaw 175467114. And again, those discuss all of the location information and the activity and Apple Health data that was admitted in those cases. And I'll be happy to email copies of those to defense counsel now.
Thank you. All right,
I mean,
we're
it's
recessed. I'll
Wisconsin.
wait a moment.
Your Honor, may I also just direct your attention to a few articles, one of which indicates the highlight here. The reliability of the registered distances, however, depends on a number of factors, including walking speed and walking style of the subject, and can deviate up to 30 to 40% from the true value. That's one of the several articles here. And what I will do is I will compile the articles and send them all back for your review while you're considering the issue, if you don't mind.
Sure, and the state would also submit in terms of law review articles, including a 2016 wearable devices as admissible evidence, technology is killing our opportunity to lie. The 2019, the iPhone health app from a forensic perspective, can stats and distances registered during walking and running being used as digital evidence. And I would direct our attention to the Supreme Court of Alabama, that was Jeffrey West the individual in that case was convicted as well based on some of the fit data.
May I just ask if the state is making the representation that all the cases she's citing to do not require that a witness establish the reliability of the technology, it's just put in?
It has been admitted, I have some of sent everything that I'm giving to his honor, copy to you as well.
Thank you. We're in recess.
Thank you, Judge.
You're muted. Jeff, unmute yourself.
I don't want to. I'm not saying anything.
Oh,
I don't want to
okay.
unmute myself.
All right.
Yeah, it looks like we're in a recess until the judge finishes reading a bunch of law review articles and cases on whether or not to allow step monitors in evidence.
I mean, I'm sorry, but it just sounds like a kind of a
pulled
reach.
out of the jury room, sat down, and being asked questions. Now, let's remember how this
All
happened.
right.
This
Shut
was
up.
because she asked a question of the prosecutor.
You can go right away. We don't need you here. Go away.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares what those people have to say.
Not at all.
They only care what we
So,
have to say.
again, this could be 5 minutes. This could be 6 hours. We just don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. So, what do we talk about? This is the worst. The amount of sidebars and downtime in this trial are ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a little much.
But we are halfway to Doggo Cam.
Look, I love hanging out with you. I'm not complaining, and I love, just shooting the shit about, old movies and making fun of the way that people look, which is very mean. And chat, you were ruthless about that T-Mobile lady. Oh my god, I have never seen it was really hard not to laugh.
Mike and M says, it's not my real monitor, it's my step monitor.
Clever.
It's good. I like that's a good one. About murder.
I just don't know how the judge is going to deal with this whole... Okay, it's case law from Wisconsin, and I know that sometimes arguments are made, like with stuff in different states. And the federal case, I'm just not sure how convincing that's going to be to the judge.
We'll have to find out when he comes back from reading the articles.
Yeah.
It's happening with Harper says, legal vices. Jeff, do you dream in English or Korean? Both. Interestingly enough.
I've never heard you speak Korean, except for that chocolate chip riddle that came up on that somebody brought. You did a super chat once for one F at Friday.
That happened, did it? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you and Danny were both kind of competing to see who could do it the fastest.
Well, it's obviously me. So he helped Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden took a plea deal. Yep, he's not going to jail.
Oh, yeah,
all right. Well,
about that.
There is nothing that I would want to talk about less than Hunter Biden.
Right.
Yeah, there's not a single ounce of interest in my entire massive frame that makes me want to talk about Hunter Biden.
You could play a game where chat pays you to drink every sidebar. Although I think it would need like a
not at 4 a.m. That's not going to happen.
Somebody for that.
Say the Gettysburg Address in Korean. That's why would that? I wonder if don't do this to my damn ADHD brain, because now I'm going. I wonder if anyone's ever translated the Gettysburg Address into Korean. Why would they? But then again, why wouldn't they? But then why would they? I'm sure it's there somewhere. That's kind of interesting. But we can do the whole 7 years ago, our forefathers brought. Had to memorize the Gettysburg Address in 5th grade.
You could sing us some more tunes from The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, let's talk about Dune. You haven't seen the Dune movie, right?
I haven't seen any Dune. I haven't seen Jodorowsky's Dune or David
Wait,
Lynch's
no.
Dune.
Well, Jodorowsky's Dune was never made. So.
Well, that explains why I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Yes, and you haven't read the books.
Mm-mm. No, I mean, I
Well,
remember David Lynch being like, that's the one movie that I'm not proud of, that I don't want anybody to watch ever. And so I was just like, all right, I guess I'm not going to.
oh, no, it's a great movie. He just didn't like it.
Well, I mean, it
says
wasn't
he's
his
coming
script, I don't think. I think it was, he directed, but he didn't write it, so.
Well, he did. He was just fucking with it too much, and wasn't working out. But well, then we can't talk about Dune because you wouldn't understand anything. But
I mean, I just, well, because like I with David Lynch, I mean, just everything, like all of his transcendental meditation stuff and all his weirdness. It's like I just felt like it's not really like a pure David Lynch film, like he did direct it, but he didn't write it, so it's not. It doesn't have that Lynchian, like, 50s, like, fever dream kind of thing going on. Although I love Wild at Heart. Wild at Heart is one of my favorites of all time of his.
Now, so you need to watch Dune before you make statements like that. It definitely has the David Lynch feel to it.
Okay.
But yeah, the Jodorowsky, the new ones by Villeneuve. I mean, you've got to watch those. They're fantastic.
I'll watch them.
But well, there's only part 1 is coming out. Part 2 is coming out this Christmas. But Lynch Dune was good for what it was. I mean, doesn't have much to do with the book because whatever. The Jodorowsky's Dune. For those, you'll just have to sit back and anybody here that likes Dune just happens to be one of my very, very most favorite books on planet Earth, and I love the series. I tried to read the entire series, the Frank Herbert ones, not the horrific bastardization things that his ungrateful, stupid son and Kevin J. Hackwriter Anderson have scribbled together like a bunch of 3-year-olds. I mean, the original 6 novels. Try to read those at least once every 2 years. But Jodorowsky, his Dune, he thought he could film it and it would be under 14 hours. That's where we start with Jodorowsky's Dune. He guessed it would be somewhere around the 14-hour mark. To which Hollywood said, maybe not.
Oh god, that's worse than Tess of the Dubervilles. That's terrible.
He wanted the soundtrack to be done by Pink Floyd, which is interesting because Toto did the soundtrack for David Lynch's Dune. So he did have another band do that.
I didn't know that.
The cast for those of you that like I said, that like Dune and know Dune and have seen the movie Dune, get a load of this cast. Emperor Shaddam IV, the Padishah Emperor, was to be played by Salvador Dali.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
And Salvador Dali demanded $100,000 an hour. So Jodorowsky narrowed down the script so he would only be in it for 1 hour.
Oh, God.
Amanda Lear as his daughter, Princess Irulan. The Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, who is now played by the elder Skarsgård in the new movies, was to be played by Orson Welles.
Oh,
the Reverend Mother Gaius Helen Mohayim for the leader of the Bene Gesserit, which are sort of basically like nuns, was to be played by Gloria Swanson. The Duke Leto Atreides was supposed to be played by David Carradine.
Ooh, I could, yeah.
Lady Jessica was to be played by Geraldine Chaplin.
Not familiar with her, I don't think.
Gurney Halleck, who is he's a minstrel and also a battle-hardened mercenary, was to be played by Hervé Villechaize.
Oh my God, you're kidding.
And if you don't know who Hervé Villechaize is, think Fantasy Island, little dude, the plane. He was supposed to play weapons master, mercenary, and balisette master Gurney Halleck.
Oh,
so
wasn't his name Tattoo? I think I remember
Tattoo on Fantasy Island. Yes,
there was some joke I remember about him on America's Funniest Home Videos where somebody's picking out donuts and they go de plane, no, de chocolate, no, de sprinkle. Yeah, Hervé Villechaize. Yeah, wow, this is an interesting cast. I'm just trying to picture all of these people together in one room.
Yeah, well, Yeah, it's supposed to, so he was supposed to play Gurney Halleck, who in the David Lynch movie was played by Sir Patrick Stewart, and who in the new movie is played by Jason Momoa. No, Jason Momoa played Duncan Idaho. James Brolin plays Gurney Halleck in the new movie. So James Brolin, Patrick Stewart, or Hervé Villechaize. You seeing the common thread through?
Yes. Well, I mean, I love Sir Patrick Stewart. I would watch him in anything, obviously.
So, except for the Dune movie by David Lynch, obviously.
Well, I actually just discovered Star Trek in the last year. I'd never really seen The Next Generation before, so.
Well, watch Excalibur with him. That's probably one of the greatest movies ever.
Okay, I will.
Excalibur. But also watch Dune. Okay. By the way, Geraldine Chaplin is Charlie Chaplin's daughter.
Oh. Obviously.
Peter DeVries, he's an evil genius guy. He's played by Udo Kier, which you'd know him if you've seen. He's been like in every Lars von Trier movie ever. He's been in like hundreds of movies.
I don't love Lars von Trier. I've seen a lot of his stuff, but like Dancer in the Dark was one of the only movies I've ever had to turn off. Like I could not watch it. It was so depressing.
I watched that when it premiered at the Busan International Film Festival when it came out. That was a rough movie to sit through. That was a difficult damn movie.
Yeah, I couldn't watch it. And I've seen some really dark stuff, but
yeah,
it was too much for me.
Hey, the Carter movie was awesome. See, viewers didn't get that John Carter was supposed to be that way. They didn't get that movie was supposed to be that way. The John Carter Mars film was awesome. That was a great movie. And also for another one of the characters, Fade Rautha, who was like the main character, he was like the main character's nemesis. Paul Atreides was his nemesis, was to be played by Mick Jagger, which interestingly in the Lynch movie it was played by Sting. So another musician, another musical tie-in.
Very interesting counterpart, yeah.
Yeah, so Sting played the part, and he was in this big solid steel jockstrap kind of setup. And I can't remember, but H.R. Giger was supposed to have been something in the movie. I can't remember who he was supposed to have played. You're familiar with Giger? He designed all the set for Aliens. He was an artist. He does all the face art. I'm sure you've seen his arts. If you just Google it, H.R. Giger, Giger. You'll recognize like his Queen paintings and things like that. But yeah, that was a movie that never got made. Gee, I wonder why. And they actually just made an entire documentary about how this movie didn't get made. All right, well that's kind of enough movie talk, I guess, unless we want to keep it. We got 680. Yeah, we just lost 50 people here in the space of a heartbeat.
Well, Gosney is saying the Giger is a gay Satanist, and I'd like to know more about that.
What?
I was not expecting that comment from Steve. Steve, explain yourself. I'd like to understand more. Tell us. Is that just...
Steve, I don't know. I never asked him about his religious leanings or his predilections in the sack, but could be. But love his art. I almost bought one of the alien engineer's chairs, one of the navigator's chairs, because it was like really cool. Until I found out it was $5,000, and I said, "Oh, never mind."
Oh, that's a little much. A little much.
But it was one that he designed and made, so that was like a huge steal of a deal, but not for me.
It'd probably look really epic next to like your whiskey collection. I feel like it would look good in there, but it's a little pricey.
Daily Quick Bite says Legal Vices Carter will never be done right because everyone is supposed to be naked, and Kim Kardashian happens to look just like Deja Torres. Just saying. I did like the movie though. They did a good job with the movie, but people didn't understand it was based on hack pulp fiction, early 20th century pulp fiction stuff. So it was hack writing, it was comic, it was weird, it was a great movie, but people didn't get it. All right. Well, yeah. This is going to be an odd day. It's already 3 p.m. there, so I don't know how much longer they're going to go. You should just call it a day and let me go back to sleep.
I mean,
Prometheus was fantastic. Prometheus kind of fits in with my view of the universe. What a great movie that is. I like the philosophy of it.
What is the philosophy in Prometheus?
It's the first prequel to the Alien series, where the universe is we were just farmed by alien engineers. They just came here and dropped off their DNA and they started the evolutionary process that developed us. And so that's kind of how I see. I see like kind of sort of ish, yeah. You didn't see Prometheus, so how do we explain this? You've seen some of the Alien movies.
Yeah, I've seen the first one.
Yeah. So we've got like the navigators and the engineers and the alien. Like the alien is sort of their attack dogs, and they apparently were not happy with us. So Prometheus. That's how the engineers come, and they one of them dissolves himself and goes into the water supply, and eventually that evolves into people. Because I sort of believe that the Adam and Eve were aliens theory, that we came from somewhere else, or that God is the prime mover. Because I don't think creation and evolution are mutually exclusive.
I've thought
evolution
about that.
is a form of creation.
I studied the philosophy of religion, and I spent a lot of time looking at like different religions and different religions' take on the creation myth and that sort of thing. My favorite version is that it's evolution from a Coke bottle, and that's why you need to see Allegra non troppo. And that's if anybody has seen Allegra non troppo in the chat, please say something, because I feel like I'm the only person who knows this movie.
What if we've seen Bushman? That had a Coke bottle in it.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
But it's an Italian parody of Fantasia, and it's excellent.
See, Marms, you thought Mormons had to base their beliefs in Battlestar Galactica. That was also in Battlestar Galactica. That the 12 tribes of Israel dispersed throughout the universe. Basically, there was like the 12 tribes in Battlestar Galactica. One found Earth. It was there was the Battlestar Galactica people were searching for the lost tribe, and we were found on Earth. I mean, the commander's name was Adama. It's not very subtle. That the Battlestar Galactica was written by a bunch of devout Mormons. But yeah, and if you saw the new Battlestar Galactica, that was how it ended. Spoiler alert! If you didn't see something from 20 years ago, the starship, the Battlestar Galactica lands on Earth, and they sort of become the first humans on Earth. So Adama becomes Adam, etc., etc. It's not too far away.
I was just distracted by Thomas Stratford speaking ill of
the gods must be crazy. Chat. Oh, I called it Bushman. The gods must be crazy is what. Yeah, that was the real thing. They just called it Bushman in Korea. The gods must be crazy was a great movie. Love Vice's nerdism. See, that's the thing is my brain is so full of useless trivia that nothing of any real import ever finds its way in there. Mm-hmm. We just had okay. What do we? Wait.
I think he sent us a link to proof of more gay Satanism, which I would be careful clicking on that you don't end up on an FBI watch list.
Hang on here.
Of the data that is compiled.
All right, looks like we're back.
By this type of app, because what it's doing is it's assessing reverberations. So, for example, one of the experts we spoke to indicated that his wife plays the piano at church, and every time she goes to church and comes back, she's taking 20,000 steps.
Nope. That's still, we've heard that one already. They're not back. I'm Irish Catholic. I can only condone the excessive drinking, not the Satanism. I missed the Gosney link. There we go.
Good God.
All right. I'm gonna have to scroll up here and copy and paste it. I'm just curious. Why not? I mean, not we won't get into it here, but I'll just put that away for safekeeping.
You mean you're not going to share
later.
your screen and show us all the gay Satanism proof?
It is Pride Month, so we could do that, but then again, religion, so we get canceled for that. So we'll just have to. But you got to admit, he's a hell of a good artist, so to speak.
I've actually never seen his stuff before. I Googled him and I realized I have like a background in art history and stuff, and I know a lot of stuff about art. I've never seen any of his stuff besides in the one movie. So
Really?
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar, but it's very
Oh,
intricate.
wow.
And it's totally something that I would have been into when I was like 15 because I was obsessed with, very intricate art like this. I'm kind of
Huh,
shocked.
Yeah, they've got a whole museum for him. Yeah.
I feel like Alex Gray has probably taken a lot of inspiration from him, but in a different direction.
I don't know. That means nothing to me. I don't know. The last book of Enki by Zechariah Sitchin. Zechariah Sitchin is pretty cool. I haven't really read any of his books, but yeah, all the Xenus have to get rid of all the Thetans.
It follows Bosch. Oh, Hieronymus Bosch. Okay, there you go. That makes perfect sense. I love Bosch. Bosch is well an obvious favorite. That's why I really loved In Bruges, because it was the whole movie was centered around the Garden of Earthly Delights and the Hell panel.
Google penis landscape for Satanism.
What are you doing? This is very off topic.
I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry, chat. The fact that 621 of you have to suffer through this.
Hey, they're still here. They're
my
willing
apologies.
participants.
Time, the evidence was.
Are we back again? I can't tell. Let's see. Let's bring us back up here.
The foundation. We're not making a Daubert objection to an expert.
Yes, we are, I guess.
Who's testifying.
No?
He doesn't purport to be an expert. This is not a Daubert situation, Judge. This is a lack of foundation situation. And the fact that that foundation needs to be presented by somebody with expertise and knowledge doesn't make it a Daubert question. It's a foundation question. And before the state, I think those cases are clear. If the state is planning to put evidence in that relies upon a technology, they first have to establish the reliability of that technology. And that's the basis of our objection with respect to this step data. We've also made a relevancy objection to the fact that there is a wholesale dump of information coming in through a witness who said, I haven't even looked at it.
Oh, come on. I'm going to get you, sucker. That was one of the great faux blaxploitation films with all the Wayans brothers, and it had Steve James, Kung Fu Master, in there as Kung Fu Joe.
On a 403. How do we know that doesn't contain 404B evidence that's inadmissible? The state has to establish the relevance of the information they seek to put in. They can't just put in everything from a phone and pick through what they think, and then the jury has in its possession a host of majority information that's not relevant to the proceeding, which is prejudicial. So that is the other basis for our objection. Also, a lot of the information contained there is hearsay. They said, well, it's his phone, so there's no hearsay objection. There are texts between people.
Hairspray? We didn't talk about John Waters yet.
Evidence that we have that establishes that phone was being used. The phone comes up as the name Sack Chaser Howard. Sack Chaser is the nickname of one of the decedents.
Sack Chaser. I forgot about Sack Chaser.
It's used interchangeably so much that when you dial with it, it comes up with one of the decedents' name as the identifier. It's in the name of Jamie King, not Jamel Demons. It was retrieved from Jameson Francois, not Jamel Demons. So it's neither in his name, it wasn't retrieved from him, and it comes up with an ID. It was being used after the defendant was arrested. We have information here that indicates that definitively. It shows the phone being used to call. It shows the same step data from that very unit after he is incarcerated. So it's obvious that it's being used by several other people. So we can't even say that it's his phone and the information there is therefore all relevance, all information on it is non-hearsay because it's statements of the defendant. Not only is it being used by others to text, to call, being carried by others, it's in somebody else's name, retrieved from someone else, and this witness has not analyzed a single letter, all the information they're seeking to put in. So there is a ton of irrelevant evidence that is being introduced, and a lot of it is going to be prejudicial, 404B and 403.
Thomas, that was Pink Flamingo.
And that's why we objected before. I didn't wait until after, because one of the points that the court made is you already let it in. We objected before, Judge, and you told us, overruled, let it in. It's still a problem right now, and we're trying to stem the damage before it goes too far. And we think that the issue has to be addressed before this information is used and it goes forward, both on the foundation issue, on the technology issue, authentication issue, relevancy issue, 403, 404B issue.
Thank you. The relevancy issue is relatively low, counsel. My understanding, where's the phone located at, counsel?
The phone itself?
Yeah.
That will be introduced through the.
No, where was the phone located?
The phone was located, it was taken from the defendant's manager on February of 2019. The defendant was providing the passcode and information via jail calls to his manager to use it on that. And the phone also authenticates itself in terms of every single photo that is on that, whether it be a selfie, a screenshot of a FaceTime conversation, or anything of that, goes back to this defendant.
And they have to establish it before they put it in, not after the fact, on this notion that they possess information that makes it relevant. If they do, present it, and then it's relevant at that time. We have, Your Honor, indications of this cell phone and this Instagram account that the state has introduced. The Instagram account is being used to post pictures days after his arrest, up to and including pictures of this very trial last week. This Instagram account is being used and accessible to a number of people. This notion that, oh, it's his account, he's an artist. It's a public account that several people have access to.
I'm sure you're going to be able to ask those type of questions, counsel. My thought is this, counsel. It's not fair to basically give me an inch worth of things to read, cases to read, articles to read, saying it's how it's not, the methodology is, and basically a Daubert issue on it. It's not clear, it's not been established, all those types of things. That should have been done pre-trial. I haven't seen what's on the account. I don't disagree with that. Counsel's telling me it's relevant because of X, Y, and Z there. You're saying it's not, but I don't know what is the 403 analysis, what's more prejudicial and probative. I haven't seen anything about that. I don't know what it is. I haven't seen it. You haven't made me aware of it. You're just saying it's something more prejudicial than probative. If it is, I'm more than happy to go through one at a time with you and find out. But as far as who used the phone, what was it being done, counsel's saying it's relevant to establish his phone. So I've made my ruling. You've made your objection. So everybody knows where they stand on it. All right, so it's admitted.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, bring the jury back in.
What do you think of that ruling?
Are you finished with your cross? Or do you have additional questions? Yes.
I don't think he has any relevant information. He said.
So you're finished?
Bring the jury.
I may ask a few.
All right. Well, I thought the defense lawyer made some very, very compelling arguments. He may be right, but I also understand the judge. I don't have time to go through and derail the trial while I do all of this. So let's just see where it goes.
Reasonable. Steve, yes, he has been in custody for about a year?
4.5 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a long, long time.
Yep.
What about a right to a speedy trial?
Jury entering.
You'd think that was the argument, But he hasn't been doing it, or he's been doing it from jail, or someone else is doing it. Yeah, spoiler alert to all of you that think your super busy stars actually handle their own Instagram accounts and Twitter. Vast majority don't. They pay someone to do
Let the
it.
record once again reflect the credit to the defendant, his counsel, the assistant state attorneys, ladies and gentlemen, jury, all witnesses remain to stand. So you have questions, counsel?
Yes, I have a few more, Your Honor. Thank you. You did, sir, 2 data dumps from the device in question?
I did 2 or 1.
You did 2 of them, did you not?
I did on this device, I did 1 extraction.
You only did it once?
If I recall.
Did you have the data verified by any third party for completeness of the download?
No.
And you made that decision, was it your decision whether or not to do that kind of verification?
At this point, I wish I'd tanked 8 shots. Lucky you,
You
Brandon.
elected not to?
Correct, I elected not to.
Did you have an engineer review any of the data that you retrieved?
No.
And have you validated that the Cellbrite extracts in the data that you did were in fact complete?
The extraction is the extraction, and that's what I got out of it. That's what the machine gave me.
Yes,
Yes.
the dark side of the rainbow is a
How
thing.
did you
It's a very real thing.
Oh, I've done it.
verify that the machine gave you a
wild.
complete download?
I understand when you say a complete download.
You said you don't understand what I mean?
No, you can elaborate on that.
How did you verify that the machine, the Cellbrite software that you used, downloaded the contents of the phone in its entirety? How did you go about verifying that?
That is not something that I can verify. That is whatever the data that comes from that phone and appears on the software. That's what I have. That's what I can deal with.
Okay, so you can't verify.
I cannot.
Is there a process of maybe testing? Is there another, first of all, software that you can use to download the information?
Sure, there's other software.
And you only use the Cellbrite?
Correct.
And if you use another software and compare the downloads, that would be one way for you to test it, whether or not the download was complete, right?
In theory, I guess so, yes.
In actuality.
All right, I'll stipulate that.
Okay, so when you say there's no way to do it, it is what it is, what you're saying is there is a way to do it, and you didn't do it.
If that's what you want to call it, but it's not true. That's not correct.
Oh, so you did test it on another software?
No, I did not, but this is the only software that I have available to me.
Okay, so it's not that you had another software available to you that could help to verify the completeness and accuracy of your results. It's that you can do it, but you didn't have that software available to you.
Well, correct, I did not do it now.
Do you know anything about the testing of the technology of Cellbrite as to its efficiency and operability?
No, I don't. I'm not an engineer for that.
So you, pardon me?
I'm not an engineer for that.
Okay, so it would take an engineer to do that?
Or somebody from that company, not me.
Okay, so it's like any kind of software. If you have the software and it doesn't work in totality or it doesn't work completely, you're stuck with the answers.
I'm not understanding what you're trying to get at, but if you rephrase it one more time, I appreciate that.
If that Cellbrite did not give you a complete and accurate download, you would have no way of knowing it.
That is correct.
Okay, because you didn't have comparable software or similar software to test the results against.
Correct.
Okay, so you're just trusting in the faith, you're just having faith that the Celebrite,
Sustained.
you are relying upon the accuracy and completeness of the Celebrite technology, right?
That's correct.
Even though you don't know anything about whether or not it works properly.
Correct.
Okay. Have you ever done a data dump from a phone more than once? Any phone?
Yes.
On Celebrite?
Yes.
And was it a phone that left your possession and then you regained possession of it?
When you're saying left my possession, I'm sorry.
In other words, it left the custody strikeout. In the instances when you have downloaded information from a phone on using Celebrite more than once, I presume you did it for a reason.
So one of the reasons why I probably would do it is maybe a software update from Celebrite.
Okay, that's one of the reasons. What else? What are the other reasons you might do it?
That's the reason that I would use it.
Okay. Can I have one more, John?
Yes.
So it is your testimony, sir, that you didn't do an extraction from this phone in June. What year is it? And then another at a later date?
I don't recall.
Or at an earlier date in April?
I don't recall.
So you have any information there before you? Any of your reports that would indicate that?
I have one that was completed on February 28th.
February
2019, I think it is.
Okay. Nothing further. Thank you.
Councilor Zay, redirection.
Briefly, Your Honor. Detective Zeller, counsel asked you whether or not Celebrite is accurate.
Correct.
In your training and experience, can you speak on that particular subject?
Objection?
What's the objection?
Foundation?
This witness has already testified that he can't speak.
Sustained.
So Detective Zeller, in terms of you've used Celebrite numerous times,
That's correct.
approximately how many?
Hundreds.
Have you found any instances in which Celebrite added data to a forensic download or dump that wasn't on the phone itself?
I'm sorry.
Objection?
What's the objection?
You would have no way of knowing that.
Overruled.
Can you answer one more time? Sorry.
Have you ever had an instance in which Celebrite has added data to the forensic extraction or data dump that was not on the phone itself?
That was not on the phone? Not that I'm aware of.
In terms of the way to physically review, how would you do that on a cell phone and compare it against a Celebrite extraction?
Well, there's a couple things I could do. I could look at the different artifacts that are extracted, meaning, so I would look maybe at a particular phone call was made at a certain time and date, or a certain picture that was there at a certain time and date, or a video, or so on and so forth, whatever that's there. That's one way of doing it, yes.
So I want to make sure I'm clear. Are you saying you would look at outside evidence from the phone and see if it agrees?
Correct, yes.
In terms of
Okay.
the information and the data that's put out there, what is the purpose of taking it off the phone?
Well, you also don't want to use the original, and just pretty much making a copy of the phone so that you don't ruin anything, delete anything, or compromise the device, or anything of that nature. So you work off that copy.
In terms of when the phone is brought to you, Are there steps that are taken to make sure that there's no outside or internet or network access with the phone?
Yeah, so usually the phones are put in what's called airplane mode, where you disable all cellular connections.
And in terms of the type of extraction that was done in this case, what type of extraction was done?
This is called an advanced logical extraction. So,
What does that mean?
so there's different forms of extraction. The advanced logical pretty much gets
Extraction 2 has just started on Netflix this week.
When I say everything, meaning the context, the pictures, the videos, the communications, any sort of communications that are on there, deleted items, specifically deleted items.
Okay. And in terms of to get the advanced logical extraction, what information do you need as an examiner?
Meaning, I'm
Do
sorry.
you need the passcode to the phone?
Yes, you do need the password, correct, yes.
Nothing further now.
Is this witness excused?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You may step down. You're excused. Thank you.
Get out of here.
Witness, please.
Brendan Collins.
What is Brendan Collins going to testify about? I wonder. While Brendan Collins is taking the stand, I just want to point out there's 702 concurrent viewers here, 592 likes. We're 8 likes away from 600. We'd like to have a 600 as a goal. And also, we are right now we are 3 subscribers away from 36,900 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
3 subscribers to get me to 36,900. 103 subscribers would get me to 37,000. How close can we get me to 37,000? Hit that subscribe button down there, folks, and check out Remy_legal and subscribe to her as well. Let's see.
Brendan Collins.
Let's see if we can get me to
Welcome. This is our witness stand.
36,900.
For a bit. Raise your right hand.
All right.
solemnly swear or affirm that testimony that you give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
Please state your full legal name for the record.
Brendan Collins.
Please spell your first and last name for the court report.
My first name is spelled B-R-E-N-D-A-N. My last name is spelled C-O-L-L-I-N-S.
Thank you for articulating that better than any witness so far.
Collins, that microphone in front of you.
Is he a detective? I don't know.
Doesn't move back.
Thanks, sir.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, you may.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Collins. How are you?
Good afternoon, I'm doing well.
Where are you employed?
I'm an FBI agent.
Oh.
So I'm employed by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and my full job title is Supervisor
Hello,
Special
E.
Agent.
And how long have you held that position?
This current position, about 18 months. I've been employed by the FBI for since 2012.
And as far as education, what types of degrees do you hold?
I have a bachelor's.
And is it in a specific area?
I was a history major in college.
Were you employed anywhere else prior to working for the FBI?
By the Army.
And how long were you employed by the Army?
About 6.5 years. I had a couple different jobs.
Going back to where you're working now at the Federal Bureau of Investigation, what are your responsibilities as an FBI agent?
Well, agents do all sorts of different things. Generally, agents are all investigators, and in the FBI, we investigate a myriad of crimes, from violent crimes, economic crimes. We also have national security mandates. Me specifically right now, I'm the supervisor of a squad that focuses on transnational organized crime.
So do you also have an ancillary assignment?
Not right now, I used to.
Would you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what
Hey,
is the
613
task
likes. Awesome. Thanks,
for the
guys.
FBI?
So CAST, for the Cellular Analysis Survey Team, is a group of specially trained and equipped agents and task force officers who do cellular analysis or mobile device location analysis.
And so when you say that, what types of records are you working with?
Usually records from phone companies or other service providers.
Okay. Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what is historical cell site analysis?
Sure. So when someone uses a phone or a mobile device to do something, to make a call, to send or receive a text, to check a sports score, or check their email, post something on social media, that's to connect to the cellular network or through the internet.
When you connect through the cellular network, there's a record that's generated by your phones, by the phone company. So you have T-Mobile gives you service to your cell phone. When you make a call, you'll see records on your T-Mobile sheets about that call. Historic cell site analysis is using those records to answer questions.
So what's the purpose of historical cell site analysis?
To help with investigations.
And what are the main components of a historical cell site analysis?
Well, if you're being asked to do like a location analysis, in other words, the case involves trying to determine where a particular device was at a certain point in time, you really have three things that you need. First, you need the records for that particular device. That will say that the initial records, like a call detail record, for instance, will sort of look like a billing statement that you might get from a phone company. Will say, this date, time, this phone number, place this call to this other number, etc. Except it will also have additional information. It will say a cell tower that the phone connected to when it made that call. So you need that record of the device. You also need a record of tower locations that says, okay, the tower the phone connected to is located at this particular point on the earth. You put those two things together into some sort of mapping software and plots it, and then it will give you a general area where the device was at the time that it connected to that tower.
So you said device. Can you testify a specific person was in a specific area?
No.
Why not?
So the records I have are just about devices.
Okay. So there are limitations to your testimony.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will be in the state's case for about the next 2 weeks.
Have you received any specialized training to become an agent that does CAST as well? What is that?
QD CAST certified is pretty extensive. There's several stages that the certification process is broken into. So I started my initial training in 2017. The first phase of training is the CAST basic course. That's a 2 or 3 day course where agents and officers from our local, state, or other federal agencies are exposed to what cellular analysis is and how to do it at the basic level.
Do you use the CAST work in your day-to-day cases? Before you became a supervisor?
Yes.
And so is this a required assignment to go to the
Take
CAST?
care, Mandy. It was a pleasure having you here.
No,
See you soon.
A lot more training than just that 2 day thing. Is that okay?
Oh, well, let's start with, to do that first 2 day training.
Yeah, so the first.
Is that mandatory?
Yes.
For the FBI?
Yeah.
To go on past that, is that something you have to apply for?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and to explain after that first initial training, what happens? What's the next level of training you complete?
So the next course is called the advanced course, and it's a week-long course. And that's just a more in-depth dive into each of the networks. So specifically, what are the uniquenesses of, say, Verizon or T-Mobile, AT&T, Sprint when it was a standalone provider? What do their records look like? What are the uniquenesses of their network's designed, et cetera. After the advanced course, then we have a sort of test. It's like a week long. When I went through, it was a mix of part in the classroom and part in the field, where it's all scenario based. So, for instance, you'd be like a kidnapping scenario. Like, hey, this child was abducted. Your job is the asset going through to try and use the records to develop a search location and say, yeah, I think that we need to go here to try and recover the child. You do a portion in the classroom, you do a portion in the real world where they have test phones set up in different locations, and you validate the results right there. So you either find the person or you wouldn't, and at the end you either pass or fail. So I passed, and I was allowed to continue to the certification course, which is a 4-week course. The first 2 weeks are very academic. We have a week that's basically a semester's worth of material condensed into a week. It's put out by professors from the Florida Institute of Technology. We bring in representatives from all the major cell phone providers in the U.S., both their law enforcement relations and records custodians personnel. We talk about these are the types of records that we keep in our specific record, in our specific company. We also bring in personnel from the network engineers, so the people who build the network, who design it. We go to infrastructure, so like the Sprint Network Operations Center, where they oversee the management of the whole network across the country, et cetera. And then at the end of that, there's a test, and you either pass and are certified, or you don't.
Okay, so Special Agent Collins, are you certified in cast analysis?
Yes.
How long have you held that certification for?
I got certified in September of 2018.
Is there continuing education or recertification that's required?
Yes, so to keep your cast certification, every year you have to attend a recertification course.
Okay. Is all of the training specifically from the FBF?
No.
What other agencies and I guess companies do the training for you?
Yes, we have partnerships, or not partnerships, but we'll bring in educators from a lot of different companies. So obviously the different telecommunications companies are critical. So we have them come to the recertification conference every year. We've had a range of other people. We've had Apple, Qualcomm, Oracle, people in the field of GPS, cellular engineering, vehicles, for vehicle telematics, and anybody that's sort of involved in that ecosystem.
Okay, so you mentioned Apple, Qualcomm. What are those?
Those are different manufacturers.
Is there also specific as to cellular technology and how it works, training on that?
For what?
In terms of being a CAST certification?
After recertification?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been specializing in call detail records analysis?
So call detail record analysis is really like the bread and butter of what CAST does. So since I started the training process in 2017, that's it's when I first really got exposed to working call detail records or CDRs.
Okay, and approximately how many times have you done this type of analysis?
I've done more than 130 cases and that have included more than approximately 300 sets of records.
When you say a set of records,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Like a call detail record or an engineering report, some sort of data report, some sort of report from a phone company about a particular device.
And in terms of the types of cases that you've worked, what have they been?
A gamut of violent crimes like homicides or shootings, white collar crimes, and then public corruption, crimes against children, terrorism.
Okay. Have you worked cases where you've been called upon to determine the location of a cell phone?
Yes.
How many?
I mean, for the 130 so cases that I've helped with, the vast majority of those have to do with location, historic location of the phone.
Have you had the opportunity to validate your historical call data reconstructions or that you do?
Yes.
And how do you do that?
Well, as we mentioned sort of during the, I was talking about the train up, if it's a situation, a case where we're trying to find someone who we believe is in possession of a device, and you do an analysis and you say, I think we need to go to this house and go there and the person and the phone are there, that's validation. If we have a case where we have some sort of other evidence that corroborates it, like crimes against children case, and there's metadata on media that was produced at a specific location, a cell site that says, okay, we know this film or something was produced here, and here's what the cell site looks like, that corroborates it.
So when you say metadata, can you explain what that is?
Yeah, that's outside of what I do with CAST, but that would be something that would be in a media file perhaps, that somebody else, who if you extract the file from using a physical extraction device or a computer or some other device, sometimes there's metadata embedded within the image or video or whatever that will tell you different things, such as when the picture or movie was produced, where it may have been produced, or the picture may have been taken, etc.
Here, just going to offer Special Agent Collins as an expert in the area of historical cell site and cellular technology and offer for Water.
Now, you want to come start, sir?
Sidebar time to see if he is an expert in cellular technology or not. Wow. Riveting.
Thrilling.
Well, they're qualifying him as an expert, so cool on that. Chances are like about 99 point a bunch of 9s that he'll be qualified. So, all righty, we're just gonna have to wait out the. We don't have to turn down the volume anymore for these. I forgot. After 5 days, Court TV finally figured out they can lower the volume, so we don't have to all listen to the dead air. Okay, that was a short one. Good.
Good question.
Thank you. Can we ready
That'll
for
really
a
qualify him.
question break from Mr. Demons, please?
Yes, sir.
We'll be in recess.
All right. While they're doing that again, thank you so much for everyone. We've got 632 likes. Oh. And I guess we're on another break.
Guess so. Okay.
Awesome. Just what we need. Another break. Well, me and my 1 hour and, according to my tracker, 1 hour and 16 minutes of sleep, I'm doing pretty good, all things considered.
Oh, Jesus, Jeff.
Just waiting here. These are
Maybe
the
have Hennessy and
difficult.
watermelon.
Yeah, these are the difficult trial streams to get through, where there's literally nothing to review while we're on recess.
And nothing really happening.
Which is also, again, why I kind of like the 1 day delay, so we can fast forward through things like this rather than just sit here and suffer through it all.
Well, at least
what
we're
is the
suffering
fringe
together.
on that flag? Yeah.
What are friends for, huh?
Oh, well, let's see how we're doing on. Let's see if we've got to 36,900 subscribers yet. Oh no, we've actually lost 2 subscribers.
Specifically, right now, I'm the supervisor of a squad that focuses on transnational organized crime.
So do you also have an ancillary assignment?
Not right
Wait,
now.
what just happened here? Did we go back in time?
Don't really know. Are they replaying it?
Team for the FBI.
So CAST, for the Cellular Analysis Survey Team, is a group of specially trained and equipped agents and task force officers who do cellular analysis or mobile device location analysis.
And so when you say that, what types of records are you working with?
Usually records from phone companies or other service providers.
Okay. Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen, Jerry, what is historical cell site analysis?
Sure. So when someone uses a phone or a mobile device to do something, to make a call, to send or receive a text, to check a sports score, or check your email and post something on social media, that's to connect to the cellular network or through the internet. When you connect through the cellular network, there's a record that's generated by the phone company. So you have T-Mobile gives you service to your cell phone. When you make a call, you'll see records on your T-Mobile sheets about that call. Historic cell site analysis is using those records to answer questions.
Look at the bar. I think you boomer question mark. I don't know what that means, Ralph L., but there's no boomering going on here. I think we did just lose Chandler.
Components of a historical cell site analysis.
Well, if you're
She's
being asked
back.
to do like a location analysis, in other words, to
I hit the
case
refresh
involves
button by
trying to
accident,
determine
sorry.
where a particular device was at a certain point in time. You really have 3 things that you need. First, you need the records for that particular device. And that will say that the initial records, like a call detail record, for instance, will sort of look like a billing.
You're live.
That you might get from a phone company. Will say, this date.
God, I have to prove that I'm not boomering things to people. Look, see, red bar there. We're all good. We're at the very end. We are live. This is what they're doing.
Will say a cell tower that the phone connected to when it made that call. So you need that record of the device. You also need a record of tower locations that says, okay, the tower the phone connected to is located at this particular point on the earth. You put those 2 things together into some sort of mapping software and plots it, And then it will give you a general area where the device was at the time that it connected to that tower.
So you said device. Can you testify a specific person was in a specific area?
No.
Why not?
So the records I have are just about devices.
I guess we're
So
just killing
there are
time here.
limitations to your testimony.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm talking about devices, not people.
Have you received any specialized training to become an agent that does cast as well? What is that?
To be cast certified is pretty extensive. There's several stages that the certification process is broken into. The first, so I started my initial training in 2017. The first phase of training is the cast basic course. That's a 2 or 3 day course where agents and officers from our local, state, or other federal agencies are exposed to what cellular analysis is and how to do it at the basic level.
Do you use the cast work in your day-to-day cases? Before you became a supervisor?
Yes.
And so
My button is not
this
gray.
a
This is people.
required
Come on.
assignment to go to the cast team?
Then I want to interrupt, but there's
Sebastian Muller says the live button is gray. Must we do
Let's start
this?
with, to do that first 2-day training.
Yeah, so the first
Is that
Must we do
mandatory?
this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To go on past that,
Yeah.
is that something you have to apply for?
The other way.
Yeah.
Okay, and to explain after that first initial training, what happens?
Trust Jeff.
What's the next level of training?
Yeah,
So the next
trust
course
me.
is called the advanced course, and it's a week-long course, and that's just
We
a
are as
in-depth
live as
dive
we
into
get.
each of the networks. So specifically, what are the uniquenesses of, say, Verizon or T-Mobile, AT&T, Sprint,
Ah,
when it was a standalone provider? What,
we don't need to
what their
delete
records look
anymore.
like, What are the uniquenesses of their networks designed, et cetera. After the advanced course, then we have a
we are
sort
on
of
a
task
break.
like a week long. When I went through, it was a mix of part in the classroom and part in the field, where it's all scenario based. So, for instance, you'd be like a kidnapping scenario, like, hey, this child was abducted. Your job is the.
There's just a recess.
Use the records to
They're
develop
just going
the
back and
location,
watching the
send
network
out the-
feed.
You need to go here, try and recover the child.
Nothing to see here. We got nothing to talk about, so we may as well just keep watching.
Where they have test runs set up in different locations, and you validate the results right there. So you either find the person, or you wouldn't. And at the end, you either pass or fail. So I passed, and I was allowed to continue to.
Ralph, you've
the
got issues
certification
here.
course,
What's your
which
problems?
is a 4-week course. And then at the end of that,
Gee, look,
there's a test
right where
you
we are.
pass,
We
certified,
refreshed,
or
and
you
literally
don't.
nothing happened because this is the live
Okay,
feed.
so Special Agent Collins, are
Right
you
up here,
certified in
watching the
cast
network
analysis?
during the brief
How long have
recess.
you held that
Everybody,
certification for?
I
stop
got certified
talking about it. This is
after
live.
2018.
Is there continuing education or recertification that's required?
Yes, so to keep your CAS certification, every year you have to attend a recertification course.
Okay. Is all of the training specifically from the FBI?
No.
What other agencies and I guess companies do the training for you?
Yes, we have partnerships, or not partnerships, but we'll bring in educators from a lot of different companies. So obviously, the different telecommunications companies are critical. So we have them come to the recertification conference every year. We've had a range of other people. We've had Apple, Qualcomm, Oracle, people in the field of GPS, cellular engineering, vehicles for vehicle telematics, and anybody that's sort of involved in that ecosystem.
Okay, so you mentioned Apple, Qualcomm. What are those?
Those are different manufacturers.
Is there also specific as to cellular technology and how it works, training on that?
Yeah, that ain't
In terms
happening,
of being a
Manuel.
CAS certification?
After recertification?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been specializing in call detail records analysis? Further, I'm going to give your Honor a copy.
All right,
of
see
the
what we
order
did
that
there, people?
discussed About the
We had a
report
wipe.
that was done by Judge Siegel. This was signed on April 4th of 2023. Sure.
Are you intending to seek to admit the report?
Yes, and that's what that.
Admit the report.
Yes, and that's what that.
Should we just object now, Judge? The report's already admissible.
I don't know what you're speaking of.
I don't think we admitted to admitting the report, we said we would
Excuse
agree.
me, I only want to hear from one. Whose witness is this going to be?
This is my administration.
All right, so you make the objection. So this is an order on the admissibility of expert witness testimony by Federal Bureau of Investigation Special Agent Brendan Collins. Let me read it. This is your order to the judge.
Oh, okay. Let me get right on that.
Says your defendant stipulated to the admissibility at trial of the expert testimony of Special Agent Brendan Collins in the area of cellular phone forensics. This stipulation includes Special Agent Collins' testimony regarding the cellular analysis survey team report, and based upon
Who the hell is like just drinking? Oh, it was the sheriff. The sheriff was pouring a glass right next to some sort of main microphone.
Oh, I thought that was you with another margarita.
What's the issue?
So I believe counsel is trying to state that we are going to object to the admissibility of the counts report. We had stipulated to his testimony after.
She speaks.
And then I will also bring to the record, she's trying to bring in 3 different CAS reports. When we had deposed Agent Collins, we only had deposed him as to 1 CAS report. We had extensive conversations about whether the state would be bringing in the additional CAS reports. We had agreed at that time, if they were going to bring in those reports, she would let us know and we would depose him again. That never happened. We were always told it would be the 1 report of the 2 phone numbers. And which we are objecting to the admissibility of those reports based on hearsay. Also, they are misleading, and also the information in those reports have not been
She doesn't sound very experienced at all.
validated by an engineer.
Okay, so as of April 4th, 2022, what report was in existence as far as Special Agent Collins?
So the first one that was with regards to Anthony Williams' cell phone, as well as Mr. Demon's, sorry.
Yes, her name is Raven.
That one was
What
done.
other reports are out there?
The other ones were generated in May of 2022 and immediately turned over to defense counsel, and I have a very different recollection of that. This was listed at the same time as Mr. Zeller that we just had, so there was never any additional office request to depose this witness. But Special Agent Collins has been available for the last however long if they so chose to do so.
And Judge, I would just for the record make an objection to her characterizing that particular phone that is actually registered to JD King as Mr. Demon's phone. I don't believe that has touched out with it.
Thank you. So what is the report?
Judge, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I asked for the report. I need to know what the report says. I'm not familiar with it.
Yes, sure. So they're all substantially similar. They do different cell phones at different times. That one is the one of Mr. Demons and Mr. Williams, explaining how the cellular.
Objection.
What?
Explaining how.
I don't understand. I'm asked for what the report is. I want to see it, and you say objection again. What's your objection?
My objection is to the characterization of that it's Mr. Demon's phone and Mr. Williams' phone actually.
Yes.
Do you have
First emailed it to Miss Liberty. And
New camera angle.
Thank you.
Looks like we have someone from a Monet painting sitting here in the middle.
Yeah, the girl with the pearl earring, or
Yeah.
somebody sitting in that Georges Seurat painting on the Seine. Literally anybody from my art history class from college.
She does look more like a Vermeer painting, doesn't she?
Yeah, I'd say Jan Vermeer, yeah.
Yeah, I like the girl with the pearl earring. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Chick with the blue hair going on there. It's Emily D. Baker. Ah.
Emily has purple hair, Jeff. It's a different color.
I know. Totally.
She's all about purple.
Someone was calling her a blue hair the other day. I'm like, are you colorblind?
Not accurate.
So what is Agent Collins going to do?
Agent Collins would
Hollander,
testify as
says
to
the
how he does the
subtitles.
analysis, how he generates those timing advance bands, and what it means as to the location of the cellular devices based on the records, which is all done as a product of the accuracy of the records and the fact that the cell phone communicates in a consistent way based on the laws of physics with a cell phone tower.
Because in here, it talks about the phone 772-713-9807. T-Mobile says Jamel Demons. This would goes below 954-248-9081. T-Mobile Anthony Williams. And it has the date of the report being May 12th, 2022.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh my gosh.
So this report date is after the order date.
It is, that is the second, it's the same one, it was all done at the same time, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was a typo that had to be finished on the spelling of the defendant's name, which is why it was generated at a second time on that point.
What on earth is happening here?
You respond, you say what you want, counsel.
I would just say the simple fact that it has Mr. Evans' name on it, Mr. Williams' name, that needs to be stricken along with the other three reports, which were actually filed after the deposed. It is my recollection that we were told in court that they would not be used. There was a question if James and Francois' CAS report would be used. She didn't give us a definitive answer.
Doing the robot.
Finally rested on the fact that she was not going to be using Mr. Francois' phone. So it is a little bit of surprise that is now being introduced at trial. And the other one, I believe, with Withers, we never ever discussed it.
Hold on.
Yes,
Hold on.
Yes,
Well,
I don't fully understand this order dated April 22nd. It says, order to judge Special Agent Collins' expert testimony in the area of cellular phone forensics and on the CAS report. So he's going to testify. I wouldn't normally admit a CAS report. I don't see why it would come in here. I don't see this specifically saying it's admissible. I see it's saying Special Agent Collins' expert testimony in the area of the cellular phone forensics and on the CAS reports in this lawsuit. He can testify. He's here. You can ask him questions that you want, but I don't believe I'd be letting this into evidence. It's just, he's here. his testimony is testimony.
And so, with regards to that, the necessity of the maps is that.
Oh, no, it's her evil plan.
Collins is going to testify in terms of latitude, longitude, and distances on that. Without a map and using that for the jurors to be able to understand where this is being placed on the actual map, that's going in a vacuum.
He can show it as a demonstrative if that's going to help him illustrate his testimony. I don't have an issue with that. That's a different question to me. Typically, we don't just admit an expert's report. The expert's here is going to testify.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
And it's not clear for me from this order that that's what Judge Siegel anticipated, that the report was coming in. I don't have any issue regarding his testimony. They're not even, defense indicated they're not even going to board hire him regarding his qualifications. So, he's able to testify. But as far as the report coming in, I don't read your order that way, respectfully.
Understood. So, Your Honor, then if I can show the admissibility of the maps with that on there, then you would evaluate them as their offered individual.
I don't have an issue. I mean, if he's able to identify them and talk to them, that's a different issue. You're wanting to admit the whole report in, as the way I understand, as substantive evidence. And typically, that's not the way it's done. I mean, the testimony is the testimony of the witness, not the report. Otherwise, it's cumulative, it's duplicative, or whatever he's going to testify to. I don't see the order talks about a date in April. This report was given after that date. I don't know if this is what the judge intended. You said there were some amendments. I don't know what the amendments are. I don't know if they were approved by the defense. They're saying they're objecting to it. Typically, that's just not done the way it's being done, putting in the document.
So, Your Honor, there are a trend number of cases on that specific issue.
Wow, literally nothing is getting done today.
What specific issue about a report coming in?
About the maps and the mapping being admissible. So that would be.
I'm not concerned about the mapping. I'm concerned about the report per se.
Well, I just want to make sure we're clear on what specifically. So some of them, this specific items are demonstrative on that. So for example, and I can put it up so everybody can see, so it's clear.
Well.
So Special Agent Collins, I anticipate would testify that, for example, there is cell tower usage and how that would be displayed on that. So that wouldn't be confused with cell site usage. So that's because there could be the possibility that a juror would think, well, this is showing that the phone is somewhere in this purple area, which would not be correct, as opposed to, for example, a timing advanced illustration, which in this case, the witnesses can testify that the phone is somewhere in this band based on, and then as well as, so in terms of the way the mapping is then done, to make it clear and understand that these red dots are not the specific locations, but rather the towers that are used. I think it's important for the jurors to understand that and have the first part of that analysis there so that there can't be any sort of improper recall by the jurors on that. So then as to the locations.
We see what time it is. Bring the calendar down, people.
On those, and this would be one of the timing advance. So if they don't have the other first part.
Judge, I think it's renewed again.
Excuse me, counsel. I don't think she's done.
Okay, sorry, Judge.
So it's more so the fact that the timing advance data and the way it is done, I don't want there to be any confusion to the jurors to saying that this is overstating the evidence. So if I just put in these particular items without the full explanation, because I don't think it is appropriate to do so without the jurors understanding the limitations of the testimony and what the different maps show. So on that would be the specific parts the state would be seeking to introduce, because the locations of the towers are important to how the math is done.
My understanding is the defense is objecting to that exhibit, is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
Does that include the maps?
That does include the maps, Judge.
So you're objecting to it, so I guess you have, in some way, it has to come out how it was done. And you can talk to the witness and see if he can, authenticate it. Originally I was thinking that you were using him as demonstrative, and I would ask him if that helps illustrate his testimony or not, but if you're saying it, you're not concerned with that, you want to admit them into evidence. So the objection is, what's the objection?
That it's irrelevant. I would also object to the fact that
That it's not relevant?
it's not relevant. It's also referring to Mr. Demon's phone. Nobody's established that number was his. It's referring to Mr. Williams' phone. We've got no testimony that establishes that it's Mr. Williams' phone. If we were to go to the other two reports, I don't know how the court's ruling on them. Again, she's referencing the phone numbers, assigning them to people. We have had no testimony or evidence before the court that those actual phone numbers belong to those individuals.
Thank you. So I haven't heard any phone numbers being assigned to any individuals.
If I may, Your Honor,
Sure.
that is why the state introduced the phone slip that has been brought in through the defendant's fingerprint, that he endorsed that as his telephone number, and as such, the state can now argue that. As to all of the other individuals, those are coming in from the phone records themselves. For example, Dungidius Withers and Chris Thomas, as I went through with the Sprint records custodian.
So let me start. What is the phone number that's on that corner sheet that you're saying is Mr. Demons?
8675309
Had the fingerprint analysis done, and they came in and identified that as the fingerprint of the defendant.
Thank you. And
So there's a
what's the next
fingerprint
phone number?
on the phone, so therefore it's the defendant's. I own a lot of damn phones.
Phone numbers have Christopher Thomas.
If it just means that if my fingerprint's on a phone.
2341. And if Your Honor recalls,
713341. Should be another number.
772713.
And good on the defense for
2341. And I can
objecting
bring up
every time they
here
say
for Your
his
Honor
cell
the
phone.
Specific information.
They're saying it's
on
not
Mr.
even a cell phone,
Thomas's
it's a communal
that
phone that was passed around
brought
amongst
in
people
earlier
that needed it,
through the Sprint records
which was still
custodian.
being used up until last week.
And there's that. There's the phone number at the top of the screen, 772-713-2341. Billing address for Chris Thomas.
All right.
Going down in the same records, because they were produced at the same time. In addition, the email address with it is Chris Thomas 86. Again, consistent with Christopher Thomas. The next phone number that is on this particular is 954.
More Jimmy J numbers.
7895. And that is belonging to an individual by the name of Dontavius Withers.
Are there any other phone numbers this witness is going to be testifying with?
Yes, Your Honor. He would also be testifying on the T-Mobile records.
Oh my Lord.
To the individual.
They got to start tying this phone to him beyond more than just a fingerprint.
And to go to the subscriber information for Mr. Francois' phone. This is related to Miss Adria Scott, which there's been testimony that Adria, or AA, is the wife of Jameson Francois. In addition, that phone number for Mr. Francois, 954-376-9158, is consistently in the phone download of Mr. Demons and is listed as track. And there are plenty of photographs and things of that nature that would show and illustrate that Mr. Jameson Francois, also known as Track, is the owner of that phone number.
But it's actually in his wife's name.
Correct, and if you, the rest of the subscriber information also says it is a family plan with multiple lines. Rate plan, family, unlimited, 2 lines included.
On the subscriber information for the first phone that you're suggesting is Mr. Demons, what does that subscriber information look like?
That comes back to his mother.
And I'm not even
Jamie
getting
King.
super chats for it, but I don't care. Blick Panther AJ says, was there other DNA on the phone?
So let's go back now. What's on?
God knows what DNA is on my
I don't know
phone.
what the exhibit number was. Did you print out anything on these phones? I think there was a printout. They objected to it.
There's multiple printouts on the phone, not all of which have been entered into evidence at this point, Your Honor.
But what's in evidence so far?
I can pull that up and just take a moment.
Well, again, Blick Panther AJ says all those boys were probably using the phone. That's what the defense is saying, that a lot of people use this phone, so they can't pin this phone on him.
864.
Oh, Nathan C. bringing the first super chat in almost an hour and a half, which moves us $5 closer to Doggo Cam. Thank you for the tequila/coffee fund. There will be coffee consumed. Thank you so much for that. Ooh, got the post-rain, pre-dawn chill blowing through the house. It's freaking cold in here. Hang a minute. I got to go shut this window here so the wind doesn't just blow through here and freeze me to death. Give me a second. Enjoy this while I'm gone.
Marmar, Doggo Cam is $100 worth of super chat. So if we get there, then we can have doggos.
For example, 95446. Three 776 9158. There are 1,129 messages between the phone owner, Mr. Demons, and other individuals in which Mr. Francois is a participant in those conversations.
Cold. It's summer, says Brad. Right now it's like 19 degrees Celsius. That's what? It's about 66 degrees Fahrenheit. It's raining and there's a morning wind blowing off the ocean outside this window. And it's blowing up to the mountain on this side of my window. So I'm getting caught in this cross.
His mother's phone
cold.
is in here. She is listed under
John Roberts, for your pain and suffering. Thank you so much.
Lady.
That makes me feel a little bit better.
772-501-6942, which is listed as an additional number subscriber. on the phone for Mr. and the phone records from T-Mobile from Mr. Dimmons.
And Nathan C. has gifted 5 Legal Vices memberships. Thank you so much for your generosity there, Nathan. If any of you received those Legal Vices memberships, give him a big shout out and a super special thanks.
And various people. This Celebrate actually tells you, like she stated, like it's going to track, but it's coming from Young Sat Chaser Howard, and he's registering as the owner of the 9807 phone, which in these reports keep going back to Mr. Dimmons, but in the Celebrate is showing Young Sat Chaser Howard.
And so in further showing as to who owns the phone, we can look at all of the videos and images of Mr. Dimmons, of which there are over 1,000 videos on the phone showing he is the user and owner of this particular device.
Judge, again, I don't think that shows that he's the user and owner. It shows that whoever had possession of his phone took videos of Mr. Dimmons. They're not selfies. These are actually pictures that appears to be taken by another party.
Well, these are all videos, actually. If you want to go to the selfies, I can go to the 10,963 images to show some of those.
I don't know how she's determining your selfies, Judge, without a testimony and such.
So for example, in this particular image, it's a screenshot of a FaceTime conversation in which the large image is going to be the person who's on the other line. The local device is going to be the tiny picture up at the top, which is of Mr. Dimmons. This is just one of many, many examples.
And can you go back to the main subscriber information page?
In terms of this one?
So where does it show who the subscriber is?
This is from the device itself, Your Honor. This is an extraction from Celebrate that phone in terms of information as to user accounts that are on this particular phone. You have YNW Melly booking at gmail.com. You have YNW Melly a Twitter account. You have YNW Melly an Instagram account. You have Melly.Montana.
Oh my God, I was muted the entire time. Dang it.
Already in evidence of showing that one.
Whoops.
You have Jamel.Demons, a Facebook account as well.
Wow, I wonder how much I was muted for.
In terms
Let's
of
try that again.
the content of the messages.
Thank you for that super chat.
Show that this was Mr. Dimmons' phone.
Deeply appreciate it. Hopefully tomorrow will be more exciting. Come that. But moving overseas is pretty good. I mean, it's what you make of. There's lots of good things. If you look for good things, you'll find good things. If you look for bad things, you'll find bad things about the place you're living. I've been here, it'll be 35 years in September.
If we were to actually go through all of these,
So, it is what you make of it, kind of like anything else.
To other people.
Speaking the language helps.
There's no question that our client had used his
Belize
phone,
would be good. I
but
think.
so did all his friends. So this was a phone that they passed amongst each other. I don't think bringing up the Celebrate or a couple of selfies proves that it was actually his phone. For that argument, there's pictures of Michael Jackson on there. So can I say that Michael Jackson is well owned his phone?
Good
Based
argument.
on their argument, that's.
Just because there's pictures on there doesn't mean it's his.
I don't think she has given any definitive proof that this was 100% possessed only by Mr. Dimmons.
She's weird that she would mispronounce her own client's name.
Just picturing it obvious. I guess he shared the phone with future also.
Elaine called Amber Heard Laura Amber Heard, so, you know.
Anything else? State? No, anything else from the defense?
I would just point out that not only is that phone in Jamie King's name, so is the phone
Sebastian
that's
Muller is just
trying to
gifted
assign-
Legal Vices memberships. Thank you so much, Sebastian. If you're one of the awesome people that got an awesome gift from awesome Sebastian, give him a big thanks.
The counsel suggested and gave me 4 phone numbers. One, counsel indicated was Mr. Demon's phone. That's the 713-9807-772 area code. And you have, there's one that was listed as a Christopher Thomas phone, another one as a Mr. Withers phone, and another one as Francois, also known as Track's phone. I haven't seen one as being on Mr. Williams, am I mistaken?
Yes, Your Honor, there was one on Mr. Williams that was on the initial report. That is the 954-248-9081.
954-248.
9081.
And that's Mr. Williams, one of the students, you said
Yes.
it's his phone?
Correct, that phone, and defense counsel is well aware of the fact that the phone that Mr. Williams had at the time of his death was recovered, and a full file system extraction was done from that phone that shows it was his phone on that, and as well as the fact that the celebrated extraction that we just went through also has Mr. Williams saved under the name of Twin in the phone of Mr. Demmons, in which there's discussions back and forth that identify the 954-248-9081 phone number as that of Mr. Williams. And that there's discussions, for example, that they have gone on trips recently. They've gone to Detroit, and there's then again photos of Mr. Williams on the phone of Mr. Demmons in Detroit that are sent back and forth on that.
Regarding this witness, is he going to testify regarding Mr. Williams' phone?
He's going to testify to the locations of that particular cell phone, yes.
And they're going to be identified by phone number?
At both.
Chubwagon monster. Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Just, if you're gonna let it in for demonstrative purposes, I would say at the very least that the names are.
And your hands in worse. This or Murdoch family crime testimony, financial crime testimony. Oh, this definitely. This is much better.
Thank you. So we're bringing jury in now. As far as that demonstrative, I'm getting conflicting information. I don't want something going before the jury about this is Mr. Demon's phone or this one's phone. There's circumstantial evidence to that effect, but I'm not putting that in evidence that way. Just show the portion that shows the maps, and you can talk about the maps and the other things, but leave out the portion that has at the bottom, or I forget if it's the bottom or top, that identifies Janelle Demon's phone. Just use it by the phone.
Use it by the phone number. Okay, that's not a problem. So I think I would need just a couple of moments to adjust that.
Go ahead.
Okay.
We're in recess.
Of course, we're in recess. All right, we'll wait for law and crime to naturally bring the volume down. There we go. Okay, well, that was one thing that happened so far in what's about 5 hours of trial today. Why do I have so many mosquitoes in here? Gosh dang it. Whatever. Sorry. You don't care about that. Must be the rain that forced them in the house somehow. I've got to search, see if there's a screen open somewhere. Anyway, the court is in recess. We've had all this argument about, do we let the cellular maps in? Do we let all the records in? And so essentially the judge has what I think is a pretty good ruling, pretty fair ruling. You can bring them in as their demonstrative things. You can bring them in, but just you haven't proven it was the defendant's phone. You haven't proven it was anybody's phone. So hide the number, hide the names that they're associated with. You can put the number in, just not who it's registered to or belongs to, because you can't prove it's theirs. I like this judge. Again, people always ask, what about the judge? This judge is very good. He's very fair. I haven't seen anything resembling even a questionable ruling from him. I think it's been very fair, and he's well within reason to do what he's doing. Any comments, Chandler, on this thrilling, riveting day of testimony?
I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm totally compelled. Love it. Always happy to be here with you. That's true.
Oh, gee.
I do
Steve
like the
Gosney
judge.
agrees with me.
I will say that.
Oh, Steve agrees with me. I always feel good when Steve agrees with me. Thank you, Steve. for the validation. Strawberry snoring loudly over there.
That sounds like a
Ever-
phone vibrating more than a dog snoring.
Oh, you can hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Listen. Well, of course, as soon as I say that, she stops snoring. Just for the record, we are 2 subscribers away from 36,900. Certainly 2 of you can reach down there and hit that subscribe button out of the 659 that are currently here. I'm sure 2 of you haven't subscribed. Please do that. Okay, well, we're just waiting for them to get their evidence in order. And I mean, they're going to wrap up a trial in about 30 minutes. So, I mean, I guess, assuming they stop at 5, hope they stop at 5 because I want them to stop at 5.
Yeah.
That way I'd get like at least another hour or 2 of sleep.
I think we both have stuff to do.
Flux, Jeff, why are you still up? Oh, I'm not still up. We took about a 2-hour break, but I slept for about an hour and 16 minutes of that. So I've had an hour sleep. And there's a mosquito on my microphone stand, so let me mute this for a second. Missed, damn it. I don't know why there's like 10 mosquitoes in my room. And it's freaking me out. So I'll just stop talking about it. I'll take the bites. I'm taking mosquito bites for you people in chat. Right. This has not been the most comment-worthy day. If you're watching this wondering why the hell you're watching it, trust me, I'm thinking the same thing. But it'll hopefully improve tomorrow. So come back tomorrow for day 6. And maybe we'll get through some more testimony. It's just been a rough day. Courts have rough days. And this has been a rough day. At the beginning, we had one juror that was in the hospital with food poisoning, who apparently managed to make it there by 1:30. So we had that. There was the one juror that heard that had questions about the mistrial, and they had to question her about what who she talked to about the mistrial, where she heard it, all that information. Then we've had the discussion about the jury instructions regarding the dismissed motion for a mistrial. I mean, the denied motion for the mistrial. We had a bunch of talk about that. And then there's been cell phone stuff with weirdly long sidebars. So it's just been a grinding day in court. Not a whole lot's gotten done. I think the jury's been seated here in the courtroom for about 10 minutes of the entire day. Well, I mean, there was the one witness, the cowardly lion witness that they're there for. That's about it. Oh, and see, it's 5:26 a.m. here, and now friends are waking up and sending me the good morning texts and whatnot. And hey, what's up texts? Any particular comments you have from today's festivities and extravaganzas?
I have been up since 4:30 in the morning, and I have obviously gotten more sleep than you, but my brain is a little slow, so no, I do not have any commentary. I'm sorry.
And mine's shutting down, so we're just kind of stalling for time here. The court is still on a recess. There's no indication of when they're coming back. It just says court is in a brief recess. This is while they get their evidence ready to present to the jury, do proper redactions and things like that. This is why you make the medium bucks. No doggo cam, boo. Hey, that ain't my fault. You didn't unlock the achievement. We are, about $45 away from unlocking the doggo achievement. Kime said the one juror probably heard about the mistrial while watching Legal Vice's stream. Nah, they were in court. When the objection was made, I mean, when the motion was made, it was made in open court. The prosecutor, she read the statement she wasn't supposed to read, and then immediately the defense lawyer stood up and said, objection, move to mistrial. And that's what the juror heard. She came in, the judge talked to her for a bit, and she said, yeah, he made the statement and I hadn't heard anything, so I was wondering what the deal with it was. She didn't hear it anywhere else. She didn't talk to anybody else about it. There was no discussion about it with other jurors. So they said, okay, fine, you can stick on the jury. And there we are. The Brandon Collective was here a while ago. People donated like $200 already. No. It's been 80,001, which is about, let's see. Let me do the quick math.
That comes to about
$61. So 39 away from Doggo Cam. But we're just unlocking an achievement. It's not important to me. The dogs are sleeping whether or not they're on camera. Righty. Memberships are not donations. It's super chats, not member donations or anything. It's just super chats. It's just a thing. We just unlock the doggos at $100 in super chats. Memberships are separate. But anyway, this isn't a grift stream. We're not talking about the grifting. We're talking about this trial. But unfortunately, there's not much to talk about. Bye, Steve Gosney. It's been fun having you here in chat. Thank you so much for bringing us light and knowledge. Steve's going home, and it's getting light outside here. So there we are.
I would love to take a nap, but I have to work, so.
Well, my plan is when they finish this, if possible, because I could still, if they'd said, never mind, we're going home right now, I could still get in a reasonable 2.5 hours sleep before I got to go to work. But if they go much longer, I'm just going to get ready, get dressed, go to work, and just kick back in the office. Just sleep in the office till everybody shows up. Flux has to drive home now too. Bye, Flux.
Oh, bye, Flux.
Don't chat and drive. Just listen to us on the background. And go to bed, Jeff. We can catch up tomorrow. That's no fun. Doggos are bored to sleep by the trial. They're just bored to sleep all the damn time. That's just their stupid fat English bulldogginess. That's all they do. All right. Well, here we are again, just for a refresher here. Court is in a brief recess. I'm not really liking their definition of brief. Their idea of brief and mine are apparently a little bit different at Lawn Cuck.
Yeah, it seems to be mostly just staring at walls. It's a lot of this.
Wow, Digger 420 just trimmed the catnip plant. Cats are going nuts. That needs to be like dog nip. See, maybe my dogs will walk across. There's a video that I saw on YouTube today with English bulldogs. Someone put his iPhone on his bulldog's front leg to track the bulldog's steps. During the 24-hour period, his bulldog took a grand total of 82 steps. And I'm thinking, wow, that's a lot for a bulldog. Yes, that's about what mine do. Bulldogs are just sleepy little tired things, which is why I like them. They have kind of my lifestyle. Don't give up. It will pay. This is just one of these slow days. It's just a slow day that the courts do. It happens. I mean, this is maybe happening to a greater degree than it needs to, a greater degree than in other cases. It's just boring as hell today. And not only is it boring, not only is the testimony boring, it's difficult to get to the testimony. And the sidebars are out of control. Oh my! So we're just kicking and waiting.
Yeah, they really are. It's excessive. I can't imagine that the jury is having much fun with this either.
Oh, the jury's got to be pissed today, or at least frustrated. That they've just been sitting around all day. And the jury rooms in courts are very, very small. They just sit there and wait all together in a really small room.
Yeah, I mean, this happened in the Anderson trial, too. Like, the jury had to keep getting up, marching out, going to the library, then coming back. I mean, at least, in the Wisconsin, in the Kenosha County Courthouse, they had, like, a library that they could go to, like a law library, which I presume is a little bigger than the normal jury room. But in this case, probably not.
Oh, my cat is a bulldog. The prosecutor, while having awesome hair, is not doing a good job. Way too much like school. Like boring school. She's not a dynamic prostitute. Don't text and drive. Don't text and drive. Don't even joke about it. I just got to my truck. See you later. Yeah. Black Panther AJ said you'd be annoyed. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're taking time out of your life, out of your busy work schedule. You're getting paid. I don't know what they make in Florida, between maybe $15 and $30 a day. And then you have to you just stay in this tiny little room and wait. And then you get it shuffled in and out, back and forth. It's got to be rough on them. And they're looking at the prosecutor probably as the source of their frustration. The prosecutor should... Yeah, go ahead.
The worst part is that when they're actually watching the trial, they're like, oh, finally something is going to happen. And then they have to listen to this cell phone data stuff being talked about. And it's just like, there's nothing interesting going on for the jury today. I feel really bad for them.
Well, right. I mean, that was like when we were talking, day 2 or whatever it was, when we had to sit through 3 hours of, this is a gun. This is what it looks like. These are what the parts are. And then of course, we got to fast forward through it, but a solid hour of a guy testifying about how certain glass breaks in certain ways, about tinted glass, different types of tinting, testifying that he picked up different types of glass from a place. And then he, at the end, says, well, we don't know what vehicle this came from or whatnot. And the question from the prosecutor was, so you went into this knowing nothing, and you did your investigation, and you came out of it knowing nothing. And the guy basically said, yep. So just things like that, where the witness is a complete waste of time. There needs to be some sort of stipulation from, the prosecutor has to be willing to stipulate, or, I mean, they're just boring. They think they're being exacting. They think they're crossing every T and dotting every I, but sometimes the jury doesn't need that. And when you're doing it, they're just like, oh God, this is never, I know what a gun is. I know what a trigger is. I know all of this. Please move on. And the ones that don't, they don't care. So they're going to tune it out anyway.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. There are some witnesses that you kind of need, but you know that every juror is going to be tuning them out, unfortunately.
Yeah, I started to during Mr. Gunn testimony, guys. Oh, look.
But counsel, I haven't. Let's bring it back in.
I have an idea of pussy pleasure for your back, and I did. I'm sorry.
I'm worried about that. Sure.
That closed caption.
Bring it back in.
I don't know what he said. We're talking over it, Chandler.
Jury's coming in.
I don't know what he actually said.
What was the closed caption?
Florida jury duty, $15 a day. First 3 days, 30 days at $30 a day after that. Okay. I was right on both numbers. Sometime between 15 and 20. All right, so they are bringing the jury in right now. I have a sneaky suspicion that it won't last that long. Who is it?
Jury entering.
Come in.
Come in.
Ms. Jones, thank you. be seated. Let the record once again reflect the presence of our jury, as well as the defendant, the defendants, his counsel, the assistant attorney. All which remains unstated. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize, but I need to resolve certain issues before we go further. It's approaching 5 o'clock now, so my thought is, let me resolve it. We'll see you all back tomorrow morning. So remember the admonition, do not discuss the case. Don't form any opinion about the case. Don't allow anyone to discuss the case in your presence. Certainly no research about the case, all right? You hear that every time we break, I tell you that. It's very important.
The closed captionings are on. Can't you see them at the top of the screen? There, Nathan.
Thank you.
Just sometimes it doesn't pick them up. They're always on. Maverick's Legal is like the white uncle I never had. The white uncle. Well, they bring the jury in just to tell them they're going home.
Anything further to discuss, counsel?
I don't believe so.
No, I will try to make the witness aware, especially Vic Collins, because you were on the stand in the middle of your testimony. I can't have any communication
Now they were on.
outside the presence of defense counsel. If there's any emergencies or anything else, please contact my office so they can get a message to me so that there's always a record of that.
No, I don't think I mentioned the delays.
All right, thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're adjourned.
Thank you, Danny. Danny.
I'm so glad I got an hour sleep for that.
It's really worth it, right?
All right. Wow. That's the end of testimony today, but that does mean that I still can get at least 2.5 hours of sleep. All right.
Oh God, it's over finally.
Yeah, so I can get at least 2.5 hours sleep out of this, I guess. Beautiful. Wow. Sorry, everybody that is in chat. All 621 of you that are still here. And the jury's just got to be pissed because they've been sitting in the stupid jury room, waiting. And then the judge says, "Come on in." They go, "Oh God, thank you, finally." And then they sit down and go, "Oh yeah, you need to go home now. You didn't need to be here this whole time." Wow. Stroke says, "Thanks for the work entertainment, Jeff. If any of you found anything that I or Chandler said entertaining today, it's a damn miracle. This was even rough to comment on because there was nothing to comment on." So,
I mean, we did get a lot of good movie talk in.
We did. And we'll just have to see what happens tomorrow. So what we're assuming that something similar doesn't happen tomorrow and they just do the full morning and the full afternoon, we'll watch the morning session and call it quits. And then the following day, we'll watch the afternoon session at 1.25 speed. We get to fast forward through all the breaks, through all of the sidebars, and through lunch and whatnot. And then we'll pick up live as quickly as we possibly can for the afternoon session and for the morning session. That's what we do here. So we'll see how it works out, but we'll start tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time, which is 2 p.m. UK time, 10 p.m. Korea time, and 11 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, where Canberra is located.
I can't believe I'm still awake. Good for you.
I was just waiting for you to glitch there a moment. Yeah.
I will be watching Amadeus.
Yeah, watch Dune. Watch David Lynch's Dune. That's a definite watch.
Okay, well.
Yeah. So again, there is only 4 days of trial a week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The judge does other things on Friday. So today is Wednesday here in Korea. It's now Wednesday morning in Korea. So there's basically 2 more days this week of trial. I don't see how it goes. Well, thank you everybody for being here. I am going to go call it quits. And by the way, just on the way out, if there's 2 of you that have not subscribed, subscribe to me. We're at 36,898 subscribers. Two more subscribers.
close.
Just 2 more subscribers will get me to 36,900. That's all I want, just to get to 36,900. And we got 729 likes today. That's great. Talking little algorithms here. And by the way, if you're watching this on replay, and just God knows why you would watch to this point on replay, you can always hit the like button after that and subscribe as well. And there are little super thanks things that you can click down there if you just go, oh my gosh, I missed my opportunity to give some of my hard-earned cash at him during live. I can do it through super thanks on the comment section. But we're going to shut it down here now. Everybody get on with your day, your evening, your night, whatever. Have a great time. Mods, thank you so much for being here. Oh, we have our stupid poll. I didn't shut down the stupid poll. Did you hit the like and subscribe buttons? 15% of you said yes. Got a bad case of loving you. Oh, only 15% of you love me. Shame on y'all. 25% said, of course, it'd be a crime not to. 27% said, yep, next mistrial motion is coming. And 33% said yes, because no mistrial. So there we go. That's the end of the poll. Mods, thank you so much for being here and for all the time you give and donate. Chandler, thank you for joining. Chat, thank you guys for being here for any length of time. Thank you all for watching this rather unfunny, not too particularly interesting, and very slow-moving day. We'll think of something to do tomorrow if it's more of the same. I think we can send people over to Aussie Overlord. He hasn't started yet, but let's see. Aussie Overlord will be starting his morning stream here in a bit. Let's see how we're doing on redirects. Give me just a couple of seconds here. Need to go to content. Content. Live. Go away, mosquito. Day 5 afternoon stream. That's where we are. Then we hit the customization button. Ooh, look at all y'all get the backside of YouTube, the YouTube butt. Get that butt. And Sovereign Citizens, Karen in court with Law Talk with Mike. So some Lincoln Kane. Don't know what Lincoln's up to. Haven't checked out his stream. Popcorn Planet is talking about the submarine. Judge Manning is in court. And Hayden. All right. Hayden's coming up in an hour and 15 minutes. The next thing Hayden starts, the next stream that I have for Hayden is his 24-hour experience. I guess he hasn't set it up yet. So sorry, Hayden. In that case, I think we will send everybody over to Judge Manning's courtroom. We can watch Judge Manning do some preliminary hearings. So let's do that. Why not? Judge Manning's a great judge in Fulton County, Georgia. She doesn't take crap from anybody. She's a tough nut to crack. And she may have nuts. She's a boss judge. She's super. All right, everybody, let's get out of here. Sending you on over to Judge Manning's court stream. Everyone take care, and we'll see you at whatever time I just told everybody in your respective time zones. Later tonight in my day. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the super chats, all the gifted memberships, everybody in chat, mods, etc., etc. Come back tomorrow. It can't be worse. It can only be better. I promise a better. I can definitively promise a better stream tomorrow because it can't get much more boring than it was today. So until then, whatever you do, wherever you are, whoever you're with, whatever you're doing with them, why ever you're doing things with them, and however good it feels and how many times you're going to keep doing it, always make sure you are enjoying your legal vices. Lorax saying, I am out for the day. Finally and unnecessarily, I was here, but goodbye.